Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Got a great broadcast lineup for you this morning, as I hope and I pray that we always do. I'm not important, just a question asker. My name is Raheem Aljume, but you can definitely get in contact with us. We love to hear your input. Speak about what's on your heart by dialing in at 508 924 3521 508 924 3521. We'd love to have your input. Now, got to start this morning on a not so pleasant note. Not so pleasant note, man. It's happened again. It's happened again, man. There's been another school shooting. This time at a University of Virginia, I think it was. And young man, they're trying to bring out different pieces of evidence as to what happened, how it happened. But regardless of what happened and how it happened, it's still to me, doesn't make any sense that our young people are killing each other at such an alarming rate. It doesn't make any sense. They're trying to say now that, and I think his dad has come forward and said that his child was bullied, has been bullied for a long time, and that's the reason why he acted out in the way that he did. Now anybody listen to the broadcast, you know how I feel about this bullying thing, man. I don't I've never liked this bullying thing. Even when I was in school myself, I would fight the bully. I would fight the bully. Win, lose, or draw, I'll fight the bully because I just don't like that bullying thing. I just don't like that. Um, Nothing good could come out of that. But this certainly is not good. I think what they're saying is three people, three of our young people has been killed, and a few others are wounded by this gun shooting, by this gunfire. When are we going to realize at a store? Oh, Willa says she left her phone at a store. Okay. Oh man, I hate to hear that, Willa. Definitely, sister. I'll be looking forward to you, and we need you to pray, sister. We need you to pray out. We need look here. Everybody gonna miss you praying today. But my thing is, sister, I understand though. I understand, sister. Hope you find your phone. Hope you're able to recover it, and I hope you find it. Um, but my thing is this right here. My thing is this right here. Nothing good could come out of bullying, but certainly there's nothing good. The answer to me is not to pick up a gun and take matters into your own hands and shoot. And even your bully, and to shoot your bullies, the people that's bullying you. Now, people need to understand everybody. There's so many ways I feel about this, man. Everybody, people have a breaking point. People really have a breaking point, and you got to understand, man. You picking at somebody and picking at somebody. You pick at the bear long enough, you wake that bear up, man. You got issues. You pick at that bear long enough, and you wake that bear up. You wake up that bear, you're gonna have issues, man. And so, young people, stop all the bullying. Stop all the bullying. And on the other side of that, please stop thinking that you could pick up a gun and it's going to rectify your situation and make it better. We living in a situation right now where we have three young people that are killed. Life is over. Life is over. Two others is wounded, and the shooter is going to jail for the rest of his life. To say he's ex-football player, honor student. We'll never know how good or what potential he could have been. We'll never know. We'll never know how much potential the three people that are dead right now. We'll never know their potential. We'll never know. They was in college trying to get to that point where they could reach their full potential. We will never know. Absolutely, we'll never know. Do we have Willa with us this morning? Willa, you there? Willa, can you hear me, Willa? Okay, maybe she's having some issues with her line. Hopefully, we'll be able to get Willa through on the line so she can actually be able to talk to us this morning. I think I see her there, but I think she's having some issues with the line. But my thing is this right here again: when these people that was lost, the three that was lost, have a loss of life, will never know their full potential. They was in college trying to get to the point where they could reach their full potential. the one or two that was wounded, hopefully they're going to recover. Hopefully they'll come out and be able to make it past this point. But the young person that actually pulled the trigger, he'll be in prison for the rest of his natural life, if not, if they don't give him the death penalty. I don't know how Virginia feels about the death penalty, but if they have the death penalty, he could definitely get the death penalty, and his life is over as well. I never know what their full potential is, all because of bullying. All because of bullying. If that's the reason, that's what his dad said. I don't know what the evidence stands on, or what the evidence said in regards to him being bullied. I don't know. I'm just speaking on what I heard his dad say. His son had been bullied for a long time. But my thing is, even if that's the case, Dad, why didn't you do something? Why didn't you? Yes, he's a young adult, and we want our young adults to take matters into their own hands. But we have to guide them in a certain way. We have to guide them when saying, take matters into your own hand. Yes, that's a beautiful thing. But at the same time, we have to be willing and able to guide them so that they don't make these type decisions. Maybe, hindsight is always a great teacher, but maybe if you were to talk to him a little more, find out how he feel. Son, where you at? How you feel about this whole situation? What do you think we should do? What do you think you should do? Well, Dad, I think I'm gonna get me a gun and go blast him. No, 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 no. That's not what we're going to do. That is not what we're going to do. We're not going to do that, and then explain to him what the repercussions are behind wanting to do something like that. These are the repercussions. If you do that, son, not only are you going to hurt and harm the people that you want to hurt and harm, but your life, as you know it, is going to be completely over. Your life as you know it would end at that moment. The moment you put that gun in your hand and pull that trigger, the life that you know is over. It is no more. And so let's sit down and let's talk about this thing. Let's talk about what we need to do, how we need to handle this, because that's not the way. That's not it. What you're thinking about right now, son, that's not it. We got a caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from? Cassandra. Cassandra.
Good morning.
Good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning?
I'm well, thank you.
Good, good, good. Cassandra, we're talking about the situation that happened in Virginia, where the young kid, college student, went on the bus and shot. He killed 3 people and wounded, I think, 2 more. They were saying the dad came forward and said that, and this was a ex-football player, honor student, and his dad said, I don't know the validity of it, but his dad said that he was bullied for a long time, and his result to being bullied, if that is what the case is to get a gun, go on the bus, and shoot and kill these people. Kill 3 young men and wounded, I think, 1 or 2 others. Now his life is over. Their life is certainly over. The ones that he killed, you had 2 that's wounded, that's trying to recover, and his life is over as you know it, because now he got murder charges. Cassandra, I know how you feel about bullying. You know how I feel about bullying. But what about this whole situation right here? What is really going on, Cassandra?
Well, I think overall we have a situation in this country, and Badger says it all the time, where mental health it has to, because even in the midst of being bullied, there's something triggering in your head. So
Hmm.
it still goes back to mental health, that you would feel so overwhelmed by what people are doing to you that you would take lives, or
Hmm.
a life,
Hmm.
right? It
Hmm.
doesn't matter. But there's definitely, the kid was an honest shooter. And if you look at a lot of your shooters, black, white, orange, green, so we ain't talking race right now, most of your shooters, they were bullied, they were isolated, they felt, rejected. All of those are parts of mental health issues. So
Hmm.
until we address in this country, and we got some serious problems going on with people, period, when it comes to mental health. So bullying, I hate bullying. I've done programs on bullying and how it affects people. So it's something that I absolutely, it's not just being a kid, because people say, well, that's just what kids do. I know.
No, no,
No, no.
no.
We've had multiple young people to commit suicide because of bullying. Like 80% of the time when these kids kill themselves, they're killing themselves because of people bullying them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I got an issue with it.
Mm-hmm. But see, Cassandra, and I was saying earlier, you tell me, you're hard on it, and I think we have Willa here. I don't know if she's fixed the line. Willa, are you available? Okay, but Cassandra, I was talking earlier about picking up a gun. And the dad said that the son was bullied. He came forward and said, well, my son has been bullied and been bullied for a while and blah blah blah. That kind of hurts me too to hear him say that, because I think he should have set his son down and find out, son, what are we gonna do about this? How we gonna handle this? What do you think you should do? And really have an open honest talk to it with his son to find out, what are your plans, man? Maybe the son wouldn't have showed him something, but maybe the father could have saw something in the conversation that led him to think that, we need to delve more into this conversation, son, because I think you're in a bad place right now. Because picking up that gun and going on that bus or anywhere and shooting, aiming at that people and shooting and pulling that trigger, that's a finale. That could be a finale to their life. So I say all that to say, is that the answer? Is that the result of where we are?
Yeah, I mean, you can't. If even if the parents see, I have a thing about people always blaming the parents about,
Hmm.
I'm
No.
not saying you do it, but
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
saying
Hmm.
everything is the parent. If he's in college and he's away from you, first of all, you're not seeing what's going on with them.
Hmm.
He may the family may not have been around him to see there was a decline in his mental health, or that he was under stress, or duress, whatever. They may not have even been around to see that. So you can't expect them to deal with something, an issue that they don't see. Think about it. When people are going through a lot of time nowadays, they don't reach out and tell people, hey, I'm hurting right now.
Hmm.
I don't know
Hmm.
what's going on.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't pull myself together.
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm.
I just can't deal with what's going on with me. They don't do that.
Hmm.
They
That's
don't do
true.
that. First of all, because young people, they probably shame them, do the shame game, what they do so much.
Hmm. Yeah.
They put them out there, say, well, he's crazy, blah 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 blah, and people shy away from being treated like that, so they become loners. They isolate themselves. It's a whole bunch of things that goes with this. So we got to realize that it's a huge problem in our
Hmm.
communities across the board,
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
age, everything across the board. And we have to deal with it by teaching people, period. Grown people, look how many times people go to their jobs and kill people. Come on now.
Yeah.
Let's just,
Yeah. Hmm.
why?
Hmm.
Because of stress and, bullying. It's crazy.
Hmm.
So, I have a thing about don't blame parents, because sometimes they have no clue.
Yeah, and you have an absolute point, because a lot of times they just don't know. They just don't know. So I want to apologize if I came off like I was doing that, because that certainly was not what I was doing.
No, you didn't.
Okay, okay,
No, you didn't. You didn't do that.
okay,
Mm-mm.
okay, good, good, good. Because man, my thing is we really have to do something, man. We really and aren't there some, I don't even know about whether they are or not. I know they got the suicide hotline to do different things, but is there a bully hotline where you could call it and talk to somebody if you're being bullied, or have some thoughts that you're being bullied? Is there a hotline for that?
It's the same as the suicide hotline. You can call suicide hotline and talk about bullying. Any mental health hotline, you're open to call and talk to somebody. Remember during COVID, they had numbers that people could call
Yeah,
in
yeah.
order to deal with the stress and pressure that they were going through. Free.
Hmm.
Psychologists and psychiatrists were giving their uh, uh, expertise for free. So
Mm-hmm.
they know that, certain things when people are stressed, you need to talk about it. You need somebody that listening ear. And
Mm-hmm.
everybody doesn't feel comfortable, you know what I'm saying, going to a psychiatrist or a psychologist. So how do we deal with it? If you got people, most people, that ain't nothing wrong with me, boy, I can handle it, da, 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 da. But you messed up, you jacked up in your in
Mm-hmm.
your in your thinking,
Mm-hmm.
how you see life, how you see people. And that is what, when people start, the minute you start that isolation and feeling rejected, you have the makings of somebody that might be able to do anything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And see, and that's the thing. There are outlets. There are outlets that we could use, that we could take to help through these situations like this. And picking up a gun, that's I just me I just can't see that as a result. I just can't see that, not even as a last resort, to pick up a weapon and to go somewhere and pull the trigger. And like you said, Cassandra, we say these kids are doing this, but there's been so many adults. Like I say, people just say all the time, man, you're gonna get mess around, you're gonna make them go postal. Well, who are they talking about? They were talking about adults, grown folks that had grown people jobs, and stress put them in a situation where they go postal and shoot up everything. So it's not just a young people thing. It's across the board
Yeah.
thing. It's across the board thing. And so what we really need to do is address it and make sure that we make people aware. And there should be some kind of signs that we can look for. There should be some kind of signs we can look for, so that we know that, okay, this person is pretty much at their breaking point, man. Y'all need to back up off him, back up off of her, because it's not looking pretty right now. What do you say to that, Cassandra?
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And if you check with the people that were around some of our shooters, or people that are having mental, like going having a decline in their mental health,
Mm-hmm.
they all say, well, you know what, he was acting strange, he was doing da 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 da, but we just thought it was, going through the change. She was doing blah 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 blah, and we just ignored it because we figured, hey, everybody have bad days or whatever. But when you see a continuation of a decline in someone's behavior, or their the way that they are doing things, you need to say something.
Mm-hmm.
You need to say something to them, or you need to say something to someone else. From what I understand, someone actually said that they thought something was wrong with him, and that he had a gun,
Mm-hmm.
and they reported it. They
Mm-hmm.
reported it from what I got, from what I
Yeah.
heard I saw on TV. So we just have to we have to pay attention. See, this is why I know people keep saying guns don't kill people. People kill people. Yeah, but the access to guns,
Yes. Yes.
the
Yes.
access to guns
Mm-hmm.
is
Exactly.
what kills people. That's why we need uh, restructuring of our gun laws. I
Mm-hmm.
ain't saying take nobody gun, because I hate when people go, well, you just want to take people freedom. No, ain't nobody trying to take no guns, but we need to have more responsible
Yes.
gun laws.
Exactly. Exactly. Because not everybody that have a gun is responsible and will take responsibility for that. They just, their solutions to go out there. Well, I just blow them away. Let me go to Tucson. Tucson, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Hi. Good morning. Good
Good.
morning, Sandra.
Good
Yeah.
morning, morning.
Boy, y'all about to
It's
act up.
really
Y'all about to
morning.
act up this morning. Y'all are about to act up early this morning. Early this morning. Tucson, you heard
Hey,
about the young man in Virginia, that college student, ex
uh,
football player, honor student, that went on the bus and killed three people and wounded one or two others. And his dad came forward and said that he was bullied, said that he was bullied and stuff like that. And his resolve for this, his resolve was to go on there and take their lives. Tucson, where are we that is the result, and that is the resolve when somebody is bullying? I can, I'm truth of the matter, just for the record, I can't stand bullying, and I can't stand a bully. Can't stand them. But
mhm.
is this the resolve right here, to take a gun out and go? Because the young boy that did it, the young kid that did it, man, his life is over as well.
Thomas Jefferson wrote a letter to James Monroe in which he
Hey, mute your line there, Mr. Hicks. Go ahead. Tucson, what's on your heart, brother?
No, nobody was listening
Mm.
at some point,
Mm-hmm.
and something was being ignored. That's just I tell you what happened.
Mm-hmm.
There was a guy at work, and he kind of like was being something was going on that he didn't like on the job. Nice guy, nicest guy you could ever meet.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And supervisor manager was doing some crazy things, some unpleasing things to him. And all he wanted to do, said, why don't y'all just transfer me to
Mm-hmm.
another area?
Mm-hmm.
That happened over and over again, and they refused to. They just felt like it was, they could just do him any kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
Until one day, nicest guy you can ever meet. Nice family, good home.
Mm-hmm.
Come in, it was at a meeting. He said, can I talk to y'all for a second? No, we ain't got time right now. Okay. And bullets start flying.
Mm. Mm.
Nicest guy you can ever meet. I want to stress that.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I say nobody's listening. See, we do stuff to people until they get tired.
Yeah.
I don't know if this has anything to do with the young man, because I don't watch the news. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't none of it good.
Mm-hmm.
But I know how people have become. We selfish, we mean and nasty, and we get that way, and we continue to be that way, and get comfortable with being mean and nasty to people.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody knows, because we hold positions and we do things, have titles, and we think we're untouchable.
Mm-hmm.
So some people get to the point that they get, I don't know if this has anything to do with the young man, but some people get tired of nobody listening to them. And so they go to the extremes, and things like this happen.
Wow. Wow. And that's the thing right there, man. A situation like this, you have 3 people that's lost their lives. Actually, in reality, you have 4 people that's lost their lives. The 3 that was killed and the one that committed the murders, because his life is over. As he know it right now, his life is totally over. And you have 2 others that's trying to recover from this whole situation. And so you have a X amount of people. You have X amount of people that are in a bad way because of bullying. Mr. Hicks, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, Raheem. I just got a new computer trying to check out this new technology. I'm doing fine, bro. How about you?
I see you exploring it over there, brother. I see you exploring. I see Mr. Hicks. He getting that thing down to a science, boy. You doing it, brother. You doing it. Keep doing what you're doing, man. You doing
I was trying to get something. Yeah.
No, it looks good, man. You did good. But what do you think about this whole bullying situation? You got 3 people that was killed. Life is gone. 2 that was 2 that's injured fighting for their life, and the perpetrator, the one that actually pulled the trigger, quote unquote, because of the fact that I don't know, his dad came forward and said he was bullied. I don't know what the real story is. Maybe there's some other things tied into this thing. But when I first saw the story, I told my wife, I said something else is tied up in that story. Everything is not being exposed in that story right now. But my thing is, man, to get a gun, is that the resolve to a situation, even in bullying? And I hate bullying, I really do. But is that the resolve?
No, it's not. But people do what they do.
Yeah.
When the pressure's on you in bullying,
Mm-hmm.
and when I grew up in Newark, right, Newark, New Jersey.
Yeah.
And my kind of background set me up for a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing about bullying that sometimes the only language people understand
Mm,
is, and it's bad because it's bad all around. You know, it's bad for, but it gets down to a basic thing. You know, what's happening in these schools?
yeah,
This stuff
yeah.
is happening at school. What's happening? You know,
Hmm.
what's happening with what's the purpose of schools?
Yeah,
but
yeah.
uh, but it's a sad situation. I mean, just to hear about that.
Hmm.
But with me, honestly, I balance it with what I was just researching about what's happening in China. You know, they got this thing going on in China where all the young folks there are just dropping out. They're not doing anything. They're fighting.
Wow.
They're fighting the regime by not going to work, not
Hmm.
expiring, and it just seems like these things are the manifestation of some social things that's going on.
Hmm.
But I just say pray and stay strong.
Yeah, yeah. And see, there's so and what that's what people that a lot of people don't understand in this day and time. And I people tell me I'm wrong. It's just a sign of the time or whatever, man. But I think the young people today, I think they have it a lot rougher than what we had, man. I think that it's a lot rougher on them with all the things that they're up against today. I think they have it a little rougher than we had it growing up. Now we had our moments, we had our issues. Now we had our issues. Now we did. We had our issues and we had our fight and our struggles as well. But some reason I think the young people today, man, they're up against so much more. Mr. Hicks, do you agree with that?
I definitely agree with that. It's just a
Hmm.
matter of the technology.
Hmm.
And the surprising thing is that they're saying, not so much openly, that a lot of this technology we had to speed things along are coming from alien technology.
Mm.
Technology that they have re-engineered from the different UFO that they're found.
Hmm.
So the technology, things change so fast. And I guess in the thing kids know. You know,
Yeah.
I just go back to in the 80s and the 70s when I was dealing with juvenile as a counselor. They know.
Hmm.
They see the hypocrisy. They
Hmm.
they they don't know how to verbalize it, and it's almost like it's like me when I was 20, coming back from the war. 20, a young guy like that. Nobody's playing. You know, you saw clear. No one is playing by the rules.
Yeah. Yeah.
That the laws are just there on the books. It's like I was listening to a speech the other day about Brother Malcolm, and he was saying you can't legislate change. We had all these changes in politics that change these things, and he said basically there got to be an education
Hmm.
of white people and education of us. But
Hmm.
until the education, you put the laws on the books. I mean, we had voting rights. We had everything after Reconstruction,
Hmm.
you know, on the books. But it's 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 uh it's and you know it's really like how you say and without talking religiously, but
Hmm.
I just have to talk really for me in terms of this. To understand what's happening in the world is it's got to be a spiritual base to understand it to keep your sanity.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, and is there a devil? You know,
Hmm.
is there a devil? You know, and how do you identify him? And do he hide himself behind religion? The big thing going on with Kyrie and all the stuff. And I see Kanye and Kyrie as young folks, right? They
Hmm.
get information the way I got it back in the 70s, and they're reacting like I did.
Hmm.
You know, you don't know what to do with it. But you're finding out things that were hidden from you, and there's a frustration hanging with that, and you try to express it, right? But you don't have the words to. And
Wow.
the people that do express it are sort of like canceled.
Hmm. Wow. Wow.
You can't hear their voices.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's a big part of it right there. Not knowing how to effectively express how you feel and your take on certain things, and you have to do it in the best. Each individual have to do it in the best way that they know how, and it's not always the best way. It's not
Mhm.
always the best way. 508-924-3521 508-924-3521. Ibrahim, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Oh, I'm doing well. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. How you doing, brother? You
Eh,
all right? Listen,
yes,
I
sir.
seen you yesterday.
Yes, sir. Doing good. Doing good. Appreciate you asking, brother. Definitely appreciate it, man. What do you think, Ibrahim, about this whole bullying situation, man? And this situation that's going on in Virginia, University of Virginia, where a young man killed 3 people, injured 2 more, and now his life is lost because of the fact that he picked up that weapon.
I think kids are too soft. Kids are too soft nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
We don't prepare them. We don't, we color them. We're told to color them. You know, they don't understand the consequences of their action. You know, direct consequences of their action. They think they can do things, you know, but they're not allowed to do things.
Mm-hmm.
They can do to prevent themselves. You know what I mean? And you know, they don't have the word. What can you tell the kids? I was thinking about that. Me and my wife was looking at that and trying to look at all the issues and things going on. The young black man shot 3 other black men.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And wounded 2 others. And like you said, there are 4, there are 5, 6 lives that change forever. You know what I mean? For people to get shot, you know, people don't want to talk about people get shot,
Mm-hmm.
but that's very important, right? That these kids don't have the skills to deal with life. You know, we see the same things happening when the guy was talking about Jews. You know, that was told a long time ago. That you know that there's these areas that I don't care how big you get. If you're a black man, you stand up and stand out, you're gonna be punished for that. Period.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't agree with what they said or when they said it or how they said it or thought they had the privilege to say it. You know what I mean? But that's life. You know, that's life that you learn early, the consequences of your action. Now, if you ready to accept the consequences, then what's the problem? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about that. Well, what about Copernic, the knee?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and we look at the same people that y'all trying to defend now about the Jew when they took the knee. Look how they talked about him.
Mm-hmm.
Look how they talked about Copernic just taking the knee, right? A strong statement. And now we're going to defend these fools because they want to talk about the people that's paying them the money, right, and everything, right? The people that set them up for this. You know what I mean? And about Kerry, like, I. You know, the same people. There was a video going out called Uncle Tom. These black men and women of power, you know, and stuff, and money, or different positions in the white community, telling us how we're so wrong, speaking out against them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? These are the same people, man, that we're defending now. I'm not going to defend that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I'm going to defend my people.
Okay. Well,
now, getting back to the brothers that,
yeah, there you go.
killed and everything.
Yeah.
I think that kids do not have skills, and we do not have the skill to educate the kids. But right now, the generation, the X generation, and the millennials that's raising these kids do not have the skill to separate between the crack days, and they want to blame their fathers and their grandfathers.
Mm-hmm.
The crack started a lot of this, the separation of what's good and right and what people are doing now. Like somehow the past deserted them. Well, they don't care about the past. You can't tell anybody about the past. You start talking about the past and how this works now, people will lie, call you a liar, and refuse to look at intelligence and common sense. You know what I mean? And there are people, we got leaders that tell us that we cannot even ask a question of them because somehow we offended them. You know what I mean? This is a lack of skill. We're doing this to ourselves right now.
Okay.
That's what I always get back to.
Okay, good deal, good deal. And you there may be some truth in what you're saying. Maybe we did it to ourselves, but somewhere along the line the ball was dropped and the communication and the knowledge was not passed on. But again, I have to say that I think the young people have it much rougher and much tougher than we did based on the times in which we're living in right now. Badger, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good morning.
Badger, what do you think about this? We're talking about the situation where in Virginia, University of Virginia, where the young kid went on a bus, honor student, ex-football player, honor student, went on the bus and killed 3 people, wounded 2 others, and now he's gonna be gone. For his life is gonna be gone as well. The life that he know it is gonna be gone as well because he made a decision to take matters into his own hands. And and his dad said he was bullied. If he was bullied, that's one thing. But is this the answer to being bullied?
In my opinion, no.
Mm-hmm.
However, in this day and age, it's an unfortunate side effect of people being too wrapped up in their own business.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you made a comment about, the younger generation having it tougher than we did,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I mean, I'm only 36, but the 90s weren't that bad.
Mm-hmm.
We get into after 9/11, dude, everything just has gone insane.
Mm-hmm.
And education's questionable. Mental health access is a joke. Um, and social media is a terrifying place.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the internet bullying is one of the worst things, and if you have high morals and stuff, you have to work really hard at not letting. I mean, I can't tell you the amount of times I've been in conversations and been a sounding board for kids that are currently in public schools and their struggles with social media and things like that, and how many times I've heard them talk about offing themselves or just taking out the people that just won't leave them alone.
Mm-hmm.
They try to reach out to teachers, trying to reach out to their parents, and everyone's always so busy, or tell them, don't worry about it and just ignore them, and that tough love stuff that it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't always work,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because not all kids function the same.
Wow.
So it's I hate to say this, but it doesn't surprise me anymore.
Wow. In this day and time, huh? Wow.
And this thing, you have to really look at what's going on, and I talk about it all the time. Like me, you, and another person had a conversation about like how certain people have to live, and they have to put on a mask to fit in all the
Mm-hmm.
time.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's easier to put on a mask than it is other times. And when you're stuck being around people that, if you sneeze wrong, if you make a comment, if you there's just so much going on right now of, you have to walk on eggshells if you talk about race, if you talk about a different culture
Mm-hmm.
or things like that. And it's been really difficult for me to try to understand all the eggshells you have to walk on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with all the things that I've researched and stuff like that, you get into political conversations, you have to be careful what you say there. If you get on a religious topic, you got to be careful what you say there, because most of the time, most have a mentality of, my God's better than your God.
Mm. Wow.
So in this day and age, you have to worry about what religion you are. You have to worry about what sex you are. You have to worry about what you say on social media. You're not getting properly educated. And unless you get at least a minimum of 50,000, no, I'd say probably about 60 or $70,000 a year right now, you better have a roommate, because you're not really going to find a place to live.
Wow. 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. Going to Toussaint, then I'm gonna circle back around to Cassandra. Toussaint, what's on your heart, brother?
I've been trying to get this mute button.
Mm-hmm.
I have to agree with Badger, but I'm not careful. I mean, I'm not, because I don't mind having conversations. I just watch how I approach it.
Mm-hmm.
Some things I don't talk about. I don't talk about religion and politics on the job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Don't bring that to me, because it's gonna cause issues.
Mm-hmm.
Religion, politics, who you I don't care who you're in a relationship with. Don't bring that to me, because I might not agree with your relationship, and that's my personal feelings, and my personal feelings have nothing to do with doing my job.
Mm-hmm.
My religion have nothing to do with doing my job.
Mm-hmm.
Politics has nothing to do with doing my job. So don't bring that on the job. Let's not talk about it, because it causes issues.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I mean? They don't call me Rev. You know how they call people Rev.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They don't call me that on the job.
Mm-hmm.
Call me Toussaint.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I don't even carry a title when
Mm-hmm.
when I call anything, even at church. They say, "What's your name?" Tucson.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm Pastor. That's Pastor. I had one lady. No, I can't say that. I had a person.
Mm-hmm.
I already said it, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
Um, and I was actually emceeing that master of ceremony, their program,
Mm-hmm.
and I called them sister. That's pastor. Really? Come on now.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't disrupt your program that you invited me to, just to let everybody know that you're not my sister.
Mm-hmm.
You're the pastor.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Is it that serious?
Mm-hmm. Wow.
You
Wow.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Is
So
it?
on a job, that can cause you to get terminated because you don't like Sally and Jane together. That ain't your business.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't get into that conversation. Now I got my personal feelings, but what the heck? My personal feelings got to do with your life, right?
Mm-hmm. Not a thing.
You understand what I mean?
Not a thing.
Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we put our feelings, we inflict other folks with our feelings,
Mm-hmm.
how we feel about certain things, when that has nothing to, that don't pay none of your bills,
Mm-hmm.
none
Mm-hmm.
of them. You ain't got a heaven or hell to put nobody in.
Exactly.
So the
Exactly.
best thing to do is shut your mouth,
Mm-hmm.
because it can cost you your life these days.
You're right. And that's a big part of the issue right there. It really can. I'm reading Cassandra. Cassandra. Cassandra, are you there?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I actually I wanted to say that this is all biblical,
Mm-hmm.
because the Bible says that generations would become wiser. Think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Our kids are, I mean, off the chain due to technology and other things. They can find out things and they know things that I didn't learn some of it till I was an adult, but they would be weaker.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
we are seeing what is biblically stated. So there's no shock here as to what we're seeing, the decline as far as their mental state, their ability to deal with life. You know what I'm saying? It's just totally different now,
Mm-hmm.
and we have to. And I just look at it as the Bible being fulfilled. We have a bunch of super smart kids, even little kids. Man, I know 3-year-olds that can work a cell phone and a computer laptop
Yeah.
better than me.
Yeah.
I'm talking 3-4-year-olds. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
oh no, let me push the button right here. This how you do. I'm like, what?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So, it's just the times that we're in, and the pressures. And think about it. These kids now, their problem solving is very lethal.
Mm-hmm.
It's lethal. I mean, they ain't gonna sit there and talk and argue. They gonna come in guns blazing,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
and that's sad. But that's where we are. Just think about it. That's where we are.
And one of the things that I do, because I know a little bit about technology. I know a little bit about it. Excuse me. But one of the things I do when my grandkids come by is I ask them questions. How do you do this? And I 9 times out of 10, I know the answer to how to do it. But what I'm doing is I just want to know how advanced they are with all this, with they get the little tablets and stuff like that. How do you do that? Oh man, how do you make that work? How do you do this? And then, man, I work tablets every day. But my thing is what I'm doing, Mr. Hicks, is I'm actually testing them to find out how much they know. and what they could do with with this modern technology that we have, with the little phone and stuff like that. I get my phone. I say, man, I don't know how to do this right here. Come here. How you do this? How you do this? I know how to do it. I do know how to do it, but I'm asking them because I want to know where you are. How advanced are you with it? And they 4 and 5 years old, man. But I still want to know. So, Mr. Hicks, what do you say to that?
Well, I have a belief that the Creator is sending people into the earth, spirits into the earth, in these children, equipped, already pre-equipped to take this whole life thing to a different level, on another level. I think that they're just faster, they're quicker, but then again, they're stimulated. They got more things to stimulate. I think that children have always been that adaptable. Especially, I mean, they have many Hafiz Quran children going back over the centuries that recited the whole of Quran, and by the time they were 4 and 5 years old, so the ability of I think what I see part of the problem is that I was with my son yesterday. We were sitting here, we were trying to have a conversation, but while I'm having a conversation, he had his phone on, and I remember after my divorce, and I was out there for a while, and I started trying to date again. I took this young lady on a date, right? A meal, and all the while we sitting at the meal, she was in his phone. That was my last. Actually, that was my last date. And I said, this is how it is. For me, I think most kids. When I try to get my grandkids when I'm around them, anybody around, I try to give them my full attention. I think that's what people don't consider. I was raised. If you talk to somebody, you look them in the face.
Yeah.
How can you encounter somebody looking away? I tell them, come on, I'm talking to you, bro. My son. I said, look at me, man. Look up.
Exactly.
So I think the computers and the stuff, it helps, but it hinders. It helps that interpersonal communication and feeling the warmth of another voice. And but yeah, I test them. I test them about things they never. Matter of fact, most of my grandkids, they think, Pop, I'm crazy, because I ask them the craziest thing. They're not used to I'll come from left field about Venus.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Yeah.
But
exactly.
But the thing is about them, they can't get enough of me.
But see, and that's the thing, that you test them. You test them. And that's what it's all about. And to a certain degree, I think people really love to be tested in a way, long as it's not doing it, in no malice or nothing like that. You do it in fun. What about Venus? What Venus at? What Venus doing? And of course, to me, that's good. That's good. Let me go to Captain. Captain, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning? Rico, come to you next, brother.
Good morning. How you doing, everybody? Morning, go all my family.
Hey, doing good. Captain, we're talking about the situation that happened in Virginia. And I already know your heart on this right here, man. But this young guy, ex-football player, honor student, went on that bus and killed 3 people, wounded 2 others. And his dad came out and said that he was bullied. And he did all this because of the fact that he was bullied. 3 people's lives are over, 4 people, because his life is over as the perpetrator. His life is over as well, as he knows it. And so you got 4 people that's dead and 2 potentially is fighting for their life right now. Captain, where are we right now that this continued to happen over and over and over again? Where are we?
Well, my prayers go out to the family of those 3 brothers that was killed and those that fight for their lives. I pray to Almighty God that He gives comfort to them in this time of need.
Yes, sir.
I also know that mental health is really a disease.
Yes.
You cannot famine the state of anyone's mind. We cannot get into that young man's mind and say what he felt in terms of being bullied. That's real. That's
Yeah.
real. That's real. And if he felt that he was bullied enough that he wanted to take the lives of those who bullied him, and then, of course, willing to suffer the consequences, then what we're looking at is a young man who had dropped to the epitome pit of depression, hopelessness, and he had went into a very, very, very dark space. But there are many young people out there, white, black, Hispanic, who come with some real mental issues.
Yeah.
Because we don't know that young man's background, that if he was abused early in his life as a young man. So there's a lot of variables that relates to what happened that will make that young man just snap and take the lives of those young brothers. I understand he was on the football team, and those young brothers were also on the football team, as I understand from what I read.
Yeah, that's true.
So
That's true.
evidently, I think the bullyism came from playing football, that they just clowned with him, man. I don't know, he could catch the ball, he couldn't, I don't know. But, man, you cannot, Brother Raheem, never judge the state of any human being's mind.
Yeah, that's true. That's
So I believe that he went there, and the man is mentally disturbed and mentally sick, but they're not going to try him like that. As sad as it may be, other people can get tried by mentally insane. But when it comes to us, we don't get tried by being mentally insane. But I do believe he has a mental problem. That's, that's no question.
Wow. And that's the thing right there, man. And just like you said, mental illness, it is a thing. It really is. It's a thing, man. And people don't place enough attention on it, about what it is, what is it, and what does it do, and a lot of people fall victim to it. Rico, what do you say to that? Good morning, Rico. How you doing this morning?
I can't complain, man. I'm just happy to see another beautiful new day.
Yes, sir. What do you think about this whole situation surrounding the young man in Virginia, man? Ex-football player, honor student. His dad said he was bullied, and the result that he took was to take that weapon on that bus, kill 3 people, wound 2 others. And man, is what happened is real. So what are we taking? Do we put enough attention on mental illness? Do you think this is a case of mental illness, or was that bullying just too much for him? What do you gather from all this, Rico?
Well, I mean, before I read about it and I started getting the information and realizing there were teammates, I knew then that there had to be some type of situation went on. Down here about 4 years ago, the other guy that went to the high school that I went to that ended up being the #1 player in the state, and he signed to Georgia. And when he got to Georgia, he had so much hoopla behind him that he left a victim that ended up suing him. And the victim said in the midst of them playing baseball, him and his friends joked around and he put some semen in a drink and tricked them into drinking it. And I also saw a situation when I was younger on Geraldo, where this boy sued his wrestling teammates for hazing him and pinning him down and sticking a broomstick up his butt. So sometimes what we call horseplay and hazing and rituals to cross over is abuse and bullying.
Yeah.
So now you say mental illness. Well, we got to talk about where this mental illness came from, because this mental illness is mental trauma. And this trauma comes from a cause and effect. And what it is, it shows you that we live once again in an environment where bullying is normal, trolling is normal, being disrespectful is normal. I mean, a lot of times when you disrespecting them, if they don't get their respect back from you, you just bullied them. We have children that are being bullied by their parents, but they call it abuse. You still bullying. And that cause and effect traumatizes a person. And that traumatized person has to let that energy, that pent up energy out somewhere. And when they get to that somewhere, it might be to the person that did it to them, because now they grown. Now ain't nobody gonna do to me what happened to me when I was young.
Yeah.
Or maybe they might just go back and get whoever was bullying them when they were young. You know, there was a guy, man, it's sad to say this, man, but there was a guy that used to bully me when I was younger, man. You know what I'm saying? We ended up getting along, but, you know, over the years, I still seen that he had these sellout ways about him. He had still had this way about him, especially when it came to white people, man. He'd get around white people and just treat black people wrong. But some black people overlooked it because of where we were from. But I'm like, nah, he ain't no good dude. Well, now he in a situation right now where he's trying to find his son's remains because his son followed in his footsteps with wanting to deal with these white people. And some of these white people done killed him and took him off and did something with his body.
Wow.
And he only seen portions of the video. But the thing about it is even though I know it's wrong and it's a terrible situation, I find myself not feeling too bad for this father. And we grew up together. I've been knowing him all my life, but I'm trying to find a way to find some sympathy for him, even though I feel sorry for his son. I'm trying to find sympathy for him and what he's going through because of the fact that how much of a bully he was when we were younger. And even as we got older, you can still see his disrespect toward black people, that he knew that he would come up to him and try to be, and he would be so short and walk off and disrespectful, like he didn't hate that they came up and spoke to him, and then get around these white people, hey, Wendy, and just act like the big gentle giant. I'm like, man, you still what? And so, you know, some of the people, they just overlooked it, like what we did when we were younger, because he was bigger. But I looked at him, I'm like, man, you still on that mess? You mean to tell me that these people came out of their way to respect you and talk to you? And look, most of these people that he ignore are the ones that's out looking for his son right now. So, you know, people can tend to also conform and adapt and start going out of their way to be extra kind to their bullies so they can fit in with them. I always want to be friendly. Some people put their foot down and say, you know what, since nobody in this environment or in this atmosphere that we live in today likes to address bullies and put things in place that sort of disparages bullying, I'll stop the bully. And we're going to keep having these conversations until there are things put in place to make respect a demand, a requirement, a qualification for you to be in this place. I mean, that is supposed to be a qualification, respecting your co-workers. But it doesn't go on. You have favor. There's so many different things that causes people to get away with things that they shouldn't do, and they're not being held accountable. So when you don't hold bullies accountable, you create people that's going to come out and kill bullies.
Wow. 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We definitely love to hear your input. Badger, what's on your heart, brother?
You know, I was thinking about what Rico just said, and the crazy part is, man, this is so messed up to say, but it's football. If they were guilty of doing anything, they're going to be more protected than anything, because that's part of the school's income. So even if they were guilty of bullying and stuff, they were probably protected. They're going to be shown in such a beautiful light that they never did anything wrong and all kinds of stuff. And it ain't going to matter what he says or what he's going to have to straight up cut. There would have to be some crazy evidence that comes out, and that's only if they allow it to come out. And I mean, when it comes to sports, there's so much bullying and toxicity involved with that. I mean, think about the way some of y'all talk, always poking fun and making jabs at each other over which team won which. How's that not toxic? Honestly.
Well, when I do it, it's just it isn't fun for me. You know, like I said, I pick my team and what my team is, and that's what I like. You know, we went on a little losing streak, and we got it back together, and we winning. And so, you know, I understand what you're saying, and what you're saying, you have some validity to it. But the way that we do it on here, I don't think it's to the level that you're speaking of.
Well, thinking about people on the outside looking in, right? and they're just hearing all this poking and jabbing and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
not knowing that, you know, y'all know each other, y'all know it's in fun and all this other stuff. All they hear is like people bickering back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if younger people are listening to it, are they going to know the difference if they're not being taught the difference?
Mm. That's that to me, that may be a little bit of a stretch there. And the reason why I say, because sports is really a part of I don't even know if I want to say culture, but part of who people are in this day and time. People love sports,
Yeah,
and
we
it's
celebrate,
like it's like it could be like politics. It could be like a whole lot of different things. But
but we don't celebrate intelligence.
why not?
I mean, sports is more important than intelligence.
And
Like,
now
have you ever?
that would depend on who you're talking to. That would depend on who you're talking to.
I'd say a majority is more sports centered than. I mean, do you know who was the last person to win the Nobel Prize?
I don't.
Oh,
To answer that question, no, I don't. But at the
But I
same time,
guarantee
but
you
at the
probably
same
know who won the Heisman.
no, I don't. I have no idea who won the Heisman.
That's shocking.
No, see, and that's why I say it depends on who you're talking to. Because when you say something about the Nobel Peace Prize, I don't know who won the Nobel Peace Prize, but then you went back and you said about the Heisman. I have no idea who won the Heisman. Who the last 3 Heisman trophies? I don't know. I don't know. And again, that goes back to who you're talking to. And so,
I can
and
agree
so
with
my
that
thing,
statement.
my thing is this right here. We can't we got to be real careful about how wide of a brush we're painting things with, because
Well,
that statement, you know, we paint with a very large brush when we say stuff like that. Majority and most of and stuff like that. That's a wide percentage that you're talking about.
yeah.
But we can't say that because we don't know what
So
what is it that hold on, Badger now. What is it that
what
is it? Hold
like,
on, bro. What is it that makes that statement true? That majority of this or the majority of that majority of the people like ice cream. Some people are lactose tolerant, man. So you know they have to be considered in that majority, and they cannot eat ice cream. And so we have to be real careful of the verbiage that we use, because it does not apply to every situation. Like Tucson always say, there's not a cookie cutter answer. There's not. But Badger, we got to move on, keep this thing moving. Ibrahim, I think you had something on your heart, brother.
yeah, this whole the whole conversation is the generalization and opinions, right? That was
What
his opinion. You know,
what
I'm gonna tell you how I feel about
let
books,
me
right? I'm gonna tell you
let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, and just for the clarity of the
go ahead.
conversation that we're having right now. What is it that anybody talk about any conversation that's not based on opinions? Because that's what a conversation is. You give your opinion as to what you feel about it, whether it's factual or not. Now that's a whole different conversation. But every conversation is based on opinions.
Oh, there again, it's just like opinion, just like the buttholes. Everybody got one, but there's informed opinions, and there's also facts. Right?
Different level. That's a different
Just
level.
because somebody say something, don't make it an opinion.
Mhm.
If they're allowed to come from where they coming from on this, right? And not come just like I've heard a lot of generalities about respect. I heard a lot of generalities about bullying. I heard a lot of generalities about intelligence and how intelligent and how much, and I heard a lot of generalities about how much more stress they're under, right?
Mm-hmm.
But and this is what I'm talking about, right? These are your generalities that's based on something else that comes out of your opinion. Now we start looking at facts, right? What comes out more? What is the priorities of people? What does the media use or what advertisement use to prioritize things that we prioritize and ignore things that we know? And that's a very good point that he made that I've made before about how we view things. Just because we don't know something, that don't make somebody know something more intelligent. That don't make somebody more opinionated or think they know everything. We just don't know, so we make assumptions. You know what I mean? I was asking a college kid, and he was telling me about he's grading his math class because blah blah blah, and so I was just giving him simple things about math, right? And the thing is, without the computer, the people that have to create this information, the computer to digest and everything, the numbers we digest, right? Then that wouldn't, the math that he's doing is useless. He don't understand the usefulness of math or how he does it. But he can go to a computer, right? Kids have a lot easier because we don't have responsibility. I tell you what generation now is going to define America, and that is this young generation, 16-year-olds now, will find themselves into a workplace, making an income and learn the responsibility of things. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
This is going to define. It's going to just blow away the previous two generations because they didn't have opportunity to apply themselves in a basic logical manner.
Okay.
they're
And
still
understand
researching and
understand me
finding.
understand me when I say this, Ibrahim. Understand me when I say this to you. That somebody listening in, and we right now we're in 63 countries. Somebody listening in to what you just said would say and stand on the fact that that is your opinion. That is your opinion. What you just said, hold on, brother. What you just said, what you just put out there is your opinion as to what you think about it. That's your opinion. And that's why I say
So
that
you're making
every conversation that we have, brother, every conversation that we have
let's have a
is
conversation.
based on
Don't cut.
brother, hold on, man. First of all, brother,
There
come
you
on
go.
now. There you go, Ibrahim. There you go. You got to. I'm coming to you, Rico. You got to be confrontational. You want to say, but you don't want to listen. Now you want to talk all the time. You want to talk, but don't want to listen to what nobody else got to say. I'm trying to make a point. I let you make your point. I'm trying to make a point, and every time I say a word, you want to jump in and cut me off instead of listening. Maybe there's some validity in what I'm trying to say, but you will never understand or never know that because you don't give nobody a chance to talk. Rico, what's on your heart, brother?
If we was trying to get a problem solved, this is the reason why we can't get it solved. Now I'm trying to figure out what everything he just had to say had to do with that boy walking on that bus shooting them football players.
Not a thing.
Did he address one part of that, or did he call in and critique other people's opinions and tell us what we thinking and how we act? What is this, Ibrahim? Man, you come on, man. I mean, now normally I'm the one that said, man, I understand where he coming from. You did the same thing last week, trying to make the conversation about Russell Simmons being idolized or looked at as a celebrity when really and truly that wasn't the topic. It was, I mean, you got it, man. For us to if we got a topic at hand, especially us as black people, especially from the people from the civil rights era that did the marching and the leading, and they know what happened and they can inform. Well, we keep the topic at hand so we can fix the problem.
You're making a statement.
See, there you go again. There you go again. See, we man trying to make a point, and you cut him off. I make sure that Ibrahim. Bye, Ibrahim. Have a good day, brother.
Once again, it still comes back to the topic of the conversation. The conversation is about the bullying and the environment, the atmosphere that's causing angry people to go and start shooting and killing and taking lives of other people and doing mass shooting. I mean, even if they're shooting up schools, these are mad people. They come from an experience. There's a cause and effect behind people coming doing mass shootings, and one of the biggest factors behind it is some severe anger and some mental issues. And this man on here talking about facts and opinions. This is not what we're talking about. So it's hard to stick to the conversation when you're ready to come on and try to start egging and nitpicking at people that's just trying to find out what's going on in this world that has us living in a space where people have to worry about or keep their head on a swivel in the middle of just trying to enjoy life. Now, it ain't because the man was just crazy and wanted to kill these people. It was something that went on behind that. So we bring up bullying, we bring up abuse, and we bring up all these different causes that have an effect on people that make them act dysfunctionally and out of order sometimes. And it went somewhere sideways. Ibrahim, we can't do this, brother. We can't do this. I mean, opinion and facts. I don't know where that came from or why it got started, but when we have a topic and we have issues going on, we really have to try to address these issues if we bring them up. Now, I did want to say this earlier because I was listening when you said that about you playing with your grandchildren with the tablet. And I was sort of thinking, even though it was a little bit off topic, but y'all had went there. I was thinking about how subconsciously we sometimes participate in distracting these children with this high technology, trying to employ our old traditions and teaching skills. And I was thinking about what you did with the tablet. I did it with go fishing. You know what I'm saying? And the point I was going to make is, you know, just going, like I said, it's a little off topic, but it was based off what y'all were talking about. Sometimes we have to simplify those activities and stop using this technology that we know is distracting them. You know, when we say get back to the basics, get them back to doing some of the things we used to do, but we control that. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we could take the tablet out the hand and say, come here, let's play checkers. Let's play Chinese checkers. Come here, let's put this jigsaw puzzle together. Oh, is that the right one? I thought this was the wrong one. Come on, let's play speed. Oh, you beat me. Let them win and go fish sometime. You know what I'm saying? Because I really heard you when you said it, and I said that was a good idea. I said, but I'm glad we need to get them away from that technology. But yeah, that's going away from the topic too. But that is what y'all were discussing earlier, so that's why I addressed that. But yeah, man, you know, we have to find out and really acknowledge and address the fact that bullying is not being held accountable. People are being given passes, favor, bias. There's double standards, you know what I'm saying? And then you have that culture, like they said in football, they call it horse playing. In our neighborhood, we call it jonesing, talking about people, mamas, and the holes in your socks and the rats in your house and this and that. But sometimes we know that some people really are meaning personal things and they trying to hurt your feelings. And so they'll go and they'll hit below the belt. Boom. That was a low blow. But see, that's the conditions that come from, you know, making it a joke, bullying and disrespecting. So some things we consider fun, we should not consider fun. Some of the things that we do, it is toxic. That what Badger was saying is true. We do some very toxic things and we create atmosphere and consider it as normal or just a way of life. And it's really not a way of life. It's really teaching another formula, another way to bully people until you decide you went too far.
Let me tell y'all something. And that's a good point, Rico. Good point. But let me tell y'all something, man. Ibrahim is something else. He's sitting here, man. He done hung up the phone and called in 12 times, trying to get through. And I called in 12 times. Every time he called in, I put him on mute, and every time I put him on mute, he called back in again because of the fact that he feel that he have something that he just got to say. This brother done called in 13 times. Every time y'all hear the little clicking sound, that's me putting him on. That's him calling in again. Now he on two different lines. He on two different lines trying to call in. All this brother have to do. All this.
Right, go give me the mic. Give me the mic.
You know? I'm like, man, what is wrong with this dude, man?
Right.
Yes, sir.
Good morning again.
Good morning, sir.
Welcome to my.
For the most part,
yourself.
I think that we. What is that noise? What is that?
That's Ibrahim's line.
Just give me a minute, man, and I'll just get the mic up if you don't mind. But for the most part, we got a good sound group of people that we come on through the week, and we try to have an intelligent conversation. Sometimes we go to way out Wednesday. This is not Wednesday.
Exactly.
We got one more day, and we can go off the grid. But can we please, if we can, because I don't have ignorant conversations. I might be ignorant, but I'll stand off to the side and listen so that I won't stay ignorant. That's all I wanted to say.
Exactly. Now let me go to Ibrahim. Ibrahim, you called in, brother, about 15 times. I kept putting you on mute because I had other people talking, brother. But you called in 3 or 4 different lines at a time. What is it you got to say, brother? What is on your heart that's so important that you really got to tell us?
Well, what I have to say, right? It seems to be not accepted because y'all don't want to listen. You made a statement about I want to listen. You cut me off several times. You asked me a question and didn't want me to answer. You didn't like my answer, so you cut me off and you kept forwarding the thing about opinion, right? And when I defended myself, you cut me off again. Now y'all talk about respect. You talk about information. You talk about knowledge, and you're doing exactly what it is. Now I was defending the brother. I mean, my Native American brother there. I was defending him on what he was saying because, of course, that was his opinion. Also, it was a learned response of what he was trying to say. Now, my comments was based on my experience, right? And some of it was opinion, some is based on some evidence, And I'm not the one to just say something out of line. Something I haven't done, I haven't did, and I wouldn't do. You know what I mean? And respect to me is earned. You know what I mean? Now, what I want to say over and over again, since I was brought out by brother, he didn't want to understand it. He didn't understand what I was saying. Some things you've heard before over and over again from different people and different resources. That's what you get when you get older. You done heard it before. You done heard it mentioned several times by different people, right? And what I said was a part of what we were talking about. I seen the topic and the subject about number one thing, right? That we were talking about bullying. We were talking about understandable how this occurs. We were talking about mental health, right? Everything I said was based on that because we had opportunity when I was young. I don't know about when you were young, brother, Brother Raheem, but when I was young, we were given pertinent information that's going to help us survive, you see? And we use the information to survive and get what we want to see done. Now, my thing is having grandchildren, having children that are in their 50s and 40s, having great-grandchildren that are in their 30s and 20s, and we're having grandchildren and great-grandchildren who are coming to preteen, right? I think that I have a little bit of information that may broker more an opinion. And not only, like a monkey teaching them, they show me how they can point and touch things, but they understand what they're doing. They understand the information they get into, isolate that information, to isolate it, and to question it, right? That's what I was talking about. Now, it may not seem to some of you that I was on topic, but I'm always on topic. I expand because there's always a little bit more, Now, for some reason, y'all don't get that. Y'all don't touch that. You want to attack me to say, I'm doing this. I'm disrespecting people and stuff. Disrespecting a person that calls himself a leader. Disrespecting a person that has a contrary or negative opinion that might affect me and us. If it don't affect me, it don't affect us. It don't mean nothing to me.
Okay.
This affects
I'm trying to let you get it all in, brother, but you're way over your 3 minutes. So make your points so we can continue. Okay.
That's it.
But
That's all I had to say.
Okay,
but
when
you cut me
brother,
off,
will you
right?
stop now, brother? Will you stop? Will you stop? How much longer you need 3 more minutes? Do you need 3 more minutes right now? Because you just said that's all you wanted to say, but you're still continuing. Do you need 3 more minutes, brother?
I need
5
seconds.
Okay, get 5 seconds. Go ahead.
All right. When you cut somebody off, right, that's because you want to cut them off because you believe in, not that there's right or wrong. Thank you.
Okay, that's what you wanted to say. You got it all out off your little chest, right? You got it all off. That's what you wanted to say. Now, let me say something to you. You have this thing about yourself, brother, where you seem to feel, and I don't know where this came from. Maybe it's been something that's been on you for a long time, but you got this thing about yourself where you feel like your opinion is the know it all. Your opinion is the best opinion of anybody else's opinion, and nobody else's opinion means nothing if it don't line up. Hold on, brother. I did not say a word while you was talking. Brother, I did not say a word while you was talking. Brother, I did not say a word while you was talking. I let you say everything you wanted to say. So that's another thing right there. See, you feel like you the most important ball in the whole basket, and nobody else's opinion. You want to talk over everybody. Yes, you want to disrespect everybody, brother. You ain't that important, man. You ain't no more important than anybody else that's on here. And until you understand and realize that, we always gonna have this issue with you, because it always comes right back to you. Because you think you're the smartest, you think you know everything. Your experience is the best experience, and nobody else's experience means nothing. That's something you need to work on, brother. Because if you don't fix it, everywhere you go, it's going to be an issue. And I want you to think back. I want you to look back in the rearview mirror of your life. You've been there every day that you live. Look in the rearview mirror of your life, and you remember the times where the places that you went to where you can't even go back no more because of the fact that you had this little self-consumed arrogance that you're displaying right now. Deal with that, brother. Don't come on here thinking you the best or you the smartest, because you're not. Stop playing, man. Rico, what's on your heart, brother?
Yeah, I mean, he does have a lot of valuable information. Don't get me wrong. He is very intelligent. You know, we always speak about delivery, and then once again, like I said, you know, sometimes just, you know, we could speak in generality sometimes. You know, this is a big world where everybody has a different experience. So you have to speak in general, because if you try to speak in depth about one situation, you can't use that exact same thing for another situation. You know, one thing that these mass shootings have in common is anger, you know, but you might not be able to say that the person that was angry and committed these things went through the same thing in their life experience. You know, some people may be justified in who they went back and did some things to, and some people may not be justified. They can't justify it. The only thing they can say is, I was angry because this is what I went through when I was younger, or this is what I just went through, so I took it out on these other people that didn't have anything to do with it. You know, Dylan Roof was angry. You know, so me, I mean, so that we have to speak in generalities to a certain extent, because we do have this one common thing that does occur. Well, more than one common thing. You know, you do have, like I said, the anger issue. You have the mental trauma, and we have the psychology behind the people that commit these acts, that makes us have to sit down and discuss these things and try to stay on the topic, you know, and get it to the point of where people can understand and receive it, and not make it sound like not be able to receive it. You know, I think Ibrahim has a lot to offer, you know, but at the same time, it's, you know, it's sometimes he comes off as, you know, dismissive or sort of, you know, minimizing what the next person or the previous person has said. And really and truly, you know, he really doesn't have to, you know, give no critique about it, unless it's just right or wrong, or just you got a different opinion. But he's a grown man, he does what he wants to do. You know, that's what that boy did on that bus yesterday. He did what he wanted to do.
Captain, absolutely right. Absolutely right. Captain, what's on your heart, brother? Talk to me.
What's the question? Is there a question?
Where we are right now? Talk to me based on where we are right now. This whole situation.
Well, you know, I like Rico. Rico's always is the ambassador of peace. Thank God for a man that can see the value of a man that other people may see as a damn fool. But that's all people's opinion. You know, what one man sees as intelligence, another man may say he's a damn fool. But in at the same light, that's how people can judge people when they open up their mouth. You could see one man, it could be crazy as all outdoors. Say, man, that man's crazy. But then somebody says, no, he's intelligent. But we have a gamut of, we don't use the word y'all. When you use the word y'all, then you put everybody on this show in a certain category, as if we're not intelligent enough to recognize knowledge that brother come out of his mouth. If it's knowledge, we respect the knowledge. But if you put your little interpretation on the knowledge, what you think with the knowledge, then we may have a little difference of opinion. But to come on this show and to say y'all, I just take that like, man, God, dog. This me, me, look at me, affect me. And I think this comes to a point where when you see this kind of contentious mind, to me, this is me talking, it ain't got nothing to do with nobody else, because I don't take nothing personal, because I heard the minister say, when you open up your mouth, you put your brains on display. And sometimes, you know, if somebody think you're a fool, don't open up your mouth and remove all doubt. That's sometimes we all like that. I may say some foolish things, man, but I never say y'all. So y'all don't understand what I'm saying. Y'all. No. And I have a problem with that. But brother, he has an attitude that, of course, you know, my water is more wet than yours. I got knowledge. I'm 70-something years old. I've been around the world. I know what I'm talking about. Okay?
But you can take all that you know and put it in the daggone symbol. Ain't got a lot of more room. We don't know nothing. We seek knowledge from the cradle to the grave. Nothing is absolute until but God.
Mm-hmm.
But I just have a problem with that because after a while, Brother Raheem, and you did a very good job, man. I thank you for your patience. But sometimes, man, we can't defend foolishness.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. I'm a grown man. You can't defend foolishness. I know what I heard.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and sometimes you can defend somebody, that's cool. But you can't make me think a certain thought about the individual you trying to defend. Defend them, cool. But I know what I heard.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate you as a peacekeeper, Brother Rico. You see the good in everybody. We need people like you.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes Captain Dennis don't have that kind of patience. Sometimes I really, really want to take the gloves off, and if you want to go there, let's go there.
Mm-hmm.
But because this is a show with the Christians on it, I have to restrain.
Good deal.
Brother, right.
Good deal. Mr. Hicks, what's on your heart, sir? Cassandra, coming to you next. Mr. Hicks, we can't hear you.
Yes, we're going to use that technology. I'm
Yes.
sort of mixed. I'm
Mm-hmm.
mixed and a little confused. And I think it's sort of I guess we call it setting parameters, how things go, a consistent thing. I remember
Mhm.
a couple of weeks ago, we had a conversation and you had a question, but you prepositioned your question before that with something that I didn't agree with. And that was a legal status, you know, and I was cut off. And there's a feeling when you, just in terms of this thing of communication, you want to be able to express your thoughts in an intelligent kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
But when someone's in control and they're saying, no, I'm in control, we're not going there, that's not what we're talking about. Sort of, it creates it's almost this thing about what speech does. When speech is not allowed to be openly, express your thoughts openly, you do it behind people's back. You do it with somebody else after the line and you talk about it. You know, because you didn't get a chance to express it where it could come to some kind of fruitful conclusion. Because I think that, you know, everything that I did in terms of social skills as a social worker was nothing I learned in college. You know, this guy, Vince Regan, he studied to be a priest. He saw something in me. And what he saw was that most of my life, living in the kind of household I had between my mother and father, that I was always negotiating between the two of them. My father didn't have the ability to express himself. He would get to form it up in words, and my mother being an evangelist and a reader, she had that. So as an intermediary, I was standing between the two of them. So this skill was cultured in me real young, that I was always able to get in the middle of things and seek, like Rico, find a peace. How do you see? Because I mean, a situation can be bad, and you can do and say things and make it worse, or you can say things and leave it the same. But you can do things to make a bad situation into a living hell. I mean, and when I say hell, some of that fire that burns in the ocean, burn of the earth, and that eternally burn that we got through Catholicism and a lot of different other things. I understand that, but I see that you create a hell when you don't have peace of mind, when you're all mixed up with the thing about how dealing with your children or your wife or your relatives. That's a hell. That's a mental hell. You can have everything. You can have food. You can have the heat on, but you're in hell because you don't have peace of mind. And I think for me, especially, you know, when I was there in the family, when the divorce came, it shattered everything because I was the leader. And I was the one who would say, even my youngest son, who was like 10 years younger than all the rest of them, I said, let him talk. He's got something to say. I learned that. I knew that. He stutters because he's confused. He can't get it out, but he got a right to say what he needs to say.
Yeah.
And I keep telling you, you are not his mother. You are not his father. I am his father. You're all equal. You're different ages, but he had just as much right to express his idea, fumbling along, because sometimes we have to fumble along in our conversation. So I understand with your brother there. I'm 73 years old. And I think what happens in our culture is a separation between, I wish I had some elders to give me inspiration when I had that fire burning in me. some logic situation.
Mhm.
Say, boy, put that gun down. You need to get some education to learn some stuff.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
learned stuff. I started learning because I didn't have that. So we have now. You got to respect the elders. That's not. I'm saying that. It's written in the
Mhm.
histories. They got
Yeah.
a wealth. They got something. They don't express it well, but
Mhm.
I appreciate this whole format and how you handle things. But sometimes, even though it might be a little irritating to hear it all through because you know where it's going to, you need a minute, just let it get it out. But then again, on everybody's end, Ibrahim, brother, you got to be, intelligence. You got to let them know that you were doing to Raheem what you were saying he was doing to you, and that becomes a thing. You got to give people what you want, even if they're not giving it back to you. That's the whole hard thing. Treat people right when they treat you wrong. But that's the walk. That's the cross. That's what you say you about. I'm going to, even if the world already do wrong, I'm going to speak truth. And then, like the brother Captain put on me, thought about a lot. Some things is not the right place to say it, even though it may be truth. If it's going to upset somebody, if it's not going to cause them to grow bigger, that's the kind of concept. Everyone I talk to and meet, I want to leave them in a better place than they was when I met them. At least not lesser than. So if I don't have anything good to say, it's like don't say nothing. But believe it or not, this seemed like a very bad situation, but there's a lot of points coming out of this here as we grow as a family. Because this is a family. When I got upset a couple of weeks ago, I left. I felt like, man, I ain't gonna never go back there. But I've done that with my mother. I with my father, my brother. I ain't never talking to them no more. But that's what the family is.
Yes, sir.
Whatever that thing is that got us together here, we stick together. You walk with Abraham, but sometimes we old folks, we get a little cranky for real.
Yeah.
I have to check myself and say, he did that to me. My son did that. He said to me one day,
we love you, brother.
He said,
but we know you
he said to me,
where you go, right?
Yes, sir.
The ball went on, Cap.
Yes, sir. But I'm gonna tell you something.
Okay.
But see, and that's wisdom right there. You know, and you dealt with it on all different angles. You dealt with it on all sides. You wasn't just one sided on it. You dealt with every angle of it. And so I can appreciate that. I can definitely appreciate that. But
Yes,
man, I'm gonna tell you, my brother Ibrahim, he's something that's still our brother though. That's still our brother.
I had a younger brother just like him. He's got fire. He's fiery. When you think about it, he's always been that way.
Yeah.
We always, we spend our lives when we think about it. Once you get in this path of growth, you spend your life trying to refine yourself with stuff you know. You go everywhere you go, everybody treat you the same way, say the same thing about you. You can't be everybody else.
Exactly.
You gotta look at me.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Cassandra, what's on your heart? Hey, Mr. Hicks, I appreciate you, brother. I really do, man. I appreciate you. Cassandra, what's on your heart?
Well, I really don't have anything to add if we're talking about that same subject. I don't have anything to add.
Okay. Let me go to we got let me see. I think we got Paul on the phone. Paul, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Hey, good morning.
What's on your heart, brother?
I want to talk, I guess, about I want to talk about the bullying thing. So I think, this whole conflict that just happened is an example of bullying. So I think some people felt bullied by Ibrahim because he wasn't listening. He was like cutting some of you guys off or cutting you off. But on the other hand, I think he feels bullied too because he feels like people are, kind of ganging up on him. And so this is the point. It's about perception. So, I deal with kids all the time who say, "Oh, this kid's bullying me," or, this thing happens. And, sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. And it really does come down to perception and how we're dealing with our emotions. So this this young man in, was it Virginia?
Mm-hmm.
You know, he probably was being bullied, and you know, as people have said earlier, you know, in the male, a lot of real toxic male subcultures. Uh-oh, hold on, I got a squeaky chicken. You know, like sports cultures, military culture, police culture, all of these like male-dominated cultures, they get really, really sometimes mean. Same thing with female-dominated subcultures too. I've seen the same sort of meanness. So it's not just men who are doing this, but I don't know. I guess point is that we have to try to be empathetic or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I know you guys like Ibrahim too, but I think he brings a lot. Yeah, I think he cuts off a little bit too much. I don't know. I guess that's all I wanted to say is like it's really perception. I deal with, you know, people claim all kinds of things are bullying, like, and all of them can be. You know, I think it comes down to the severity of it. How long is it going on?
Mm-hmm.
You know, people bully about, oh, you're too short, or you're too fat, or you know, your color, or
I think you froze up, Rico.
Yeah, he did. He did. You said you had something to say though, so go ahead.
Well, I was just thinking about quite a few things because I think Paul's got a very valid point, and that was something actually I was going to bring up too, because we have a whole bunch of us have different opinions on things, and people can react to things that are said. You know, like especially when doing analogies or using certain words or word usage. Like there's a lot of people on the show that, you know, I hear words like majority and things like that get used a lot. And in essence, I'm mimicking the word usage. Yet a lot of times when I use that word, I'm told or asked not to. You know, you can't really group up people like that, but yet other people use it and it's not a problem. You know, and if we take that into consideration of what we're talking about with bullying and stuff, that causes a lot of confusion. So when is it acceptable? When is it not acceptable? You know, if you're not as good at talking as other people, you know, you have to work really hard to try to learn how to talk like other people, or like a lot of neurotypical people do, if that's even a real thing anymore. And you have to adapt or put on a mask, because like I don't understand the difference between of how I'm using it and the way other people use it. Yet I feel attacked because of the way I'm using it. If that makes any sense. So to anybody that's listening. I'll wait.
Okay. I was hearing what you were saying, Badger, and one of the things about it, there is no but. My thing is every day is a different situation, and every day, if I use one word today, we can come back on here Friday, and it could be a totally different situation, totally different scenario, and that word could mean something totally different. And so it's based on the timing of when it's used. The way that it was used this morning, when you said what you said, a majority of people, I wanted to take that time and use it as a teachable moment and say that we can't do that. It wasn't that it came from you or who it came from. It's just I use that as a teachable moment for everybody that's listening to understand that we cannot do that. We cannot use a cookie cutter answer to fit everything that we're going through. So again, if I came across as if I was poking at you or coming at you in a certain way, that was not my intention. My intention was to make a point and use that teachable moment at that particular time to let everybody know exactly what I was trying to say or what I was trying to portray across the board. So it had nothing to do with you, brother, at all.
So with what you just said, right?
Mm-hmm.
For people,
Badger, before you say what you're gonna say, and I have to say this to you, we're not taking anything literal. Because, like I said, you'll take something, you'll turn it into a literal. That's not what it is. Take what I said, eat the meat, and spit out the bone. But go ahead.
I understand that I have a decent understanding of what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
What you're saying.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
We're talking about bullying,
Okay.
and I'm also adding a different aspect to it as well
Mm-hmm.
of people that struggle, not just me, but other people.
Mm-hmm.
My son and many other people. Being a mental health advocate, I'm around a lot of people that struggle.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I hear what you're saying, my mind doesn't understand what you mean.
Mm-hmm.
Because the word itself, when the majority of people I'm around would rather talk about sports than talk about intellectual things, I am using the word accurately.
Okay. That's your opinion, and I respect that. But at the same time, that has nothing to do with what I just said to you, brother. But go ahead.
So you're telling me to not take things literal. You're telling me you're trying do you realize that you're literally telling someone that is extremely literal? That is just how my brain will work for the rest of my life. I was
Mm-hmm.
born with this brain to not take something literal.
So how should I as a sender, how am I to cater it to make you understand it? How am I to cater that?
That's not the point I'm trying to come across.
But see,
there are things you will say I will never understand.
Exactly. And so my thing is, as a sender, how am I to say it in a way that you can't understand it?
However,
you ain't answering my question. As a sender, how am I going to say it to you so you can understand it?
If you hold on a moment, let me answer.
Mm-hmm.
However, I have went to therapies and talked to professors and stuff that I had to sit down and go, I need help learning this.
Mm-hmm.
I need to learn how I accept the fact that I will probably take everything literal for the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
However, knowing and communicating with other human beings, they don't mean things as literal as I do. They're not as this or that as my brain is.
Wrap it up for me, brother. Wrap it up for me. Go ahead.
However, people get bullied for these kinds of things all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the mental health aspect of life. Just even though that's your view and you're the sender and you're trying to make sure I understand that it's not literal, it's also how open-minded are you to accept the sender, to accept the fact that the other person might not ever understand that.
Okay, so what am I to do about that?
Can you accept it for what it is and just be cool?
So basically, what you're saying, there'll always be a gap in our communication because of the fact that we can't get past it. So how are we to communicate?
We're communicating right now.
Well, I thought we was, but you say you don't understand what I'm saying. So how are you to understand it? Because if I'm just throwing stuff out there and you're not understanding what I'm saying, we're wasting our time basically because we're not communicating effectively. There's a thing called communication. There's a thing called effective communication. And from what you're saying to me, we're not having either one of them. We're not having it right now. But I got to move on. Got to keep it going. Cassandra, what's on? No. I got to hold on. Somebody else just came in. Who just came? Toya with a T. Good morning. How you doing, How you doing, young lady?
Yes, y'all. What's going on?
Hey, doing good. We're talking about the situation that happened in Virginia with a young kid, college student, ex-football player. And he went on the bus, killed 3 people, wounded 2 others.
Wait a minute, hold up. Stop. Wait a minute, Raheem, stop it. I've been up under a rock. Stop.
Oh, you didn't hear about that?
You said what? No.
Wow. Yeah, man. It's at University of Virginia. There was a young man. He his dad said he was being bullied. He went on the bus. They was coming back from a trip. Went on the bus and he killed 3 people, and wounded 2 others. Now his life, now his life is pretty much over as well. So technically, 4 people lost their lives, and 2 others,
Right.
2 others are fighting for their life right now, and because of bullying. How do you see that? How do you see that whole situation?
Well,
I thought you heard about that though.
These last couple of No, hey, I've been under a rock. I ain't even been nowhere. I ain't even been on a show. That's for a reason. I have no idea what's been going on in the world because I've been in my own little world. However, the world that I've been dibbling and dabbling with here lately, I had some workplace bullying going on too. You know, my last name Fluker. You walk in the dust, leg at father, poker, you know? Right? Then they do all these different little things to make it hard for me. Why? I'm just trying to work good.
Yeah.
So this is what I'm going through as an adult at work. I can imagine what babies are going through in school and in college, especially. I hate to have to do it to you, white people, especially when you're black. They treat us different. They do us different. They add this pressure, and then when you go off the meat rack and knock niggas, when you go off the meat rack and knock people off, oh no, what happened? I don't understand. But the way that we operate in 2022, nobody gives a damn about anything. They don't care about your time. They don't care about what you've been going through. Everybody is out to manipulate. And when some of these things are going off, am I saying this right? I'm saying what I do is I understand because the aerodynamics on what people care about now, I understand how some people can go and do the things you do, but self-control. Self-control is the key because there's a lot of things. Listen, who gonna play with your check? What job gonna let you work and because they don't like you, your whole check won't come up missing? And you think ain't nobody gonna want to come do something to you? So again, if there's anything remotely close going on in these schools or colleges or went on with this young man, that could be an influence to make him have done what he wanted to do because of how people do. Let me tell you something. This black chick back in 60s wouldn't have made it because you're not spitting on me. You're not gonna let no dogs on me. Yeah, I'm finna come shoot people up too. So we have to be realistic about some of the things that people experience on why they're being driven to this place. However, let's discuss technology. Do you know that we have technology that helps mind waves go to certain people? And in my opinion, I believe if your mind is not of a certain magnitude, you will be driven to go do something like that through these new technologies that we're experimenting. Have we even thought about that, y'all? Because if you ain't thought about it, or if you don't know about it, I hate to have to be the one to tell you it's true.
Wow.
And it's real. They have technology that allows waves to be sent to people. And if you bite that bullet, then you're going to be committing some of these crimes. This is a technology. So we can't rule out the fact that it's influenced by the government, but also it's influenced by simple negative human behavior.
Wow. 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We definitely love to have your input. We have let me see, we got Joseph with us and we got Curtis as well. We're gonna go Joseph, we're gonna go to Curtis, then we're gonna circle our way back around. And Mary is here as well. So Joseph, what's on your heart?
Oh, good morning, family.
Good morning.
That's terrible. Another terrible shooting, and they're occurring very frequently. And these are symptoms of a sick society. And unfortunately, those with the power is not doing anything or trying to do anything to address the sickness. There's bullying at school. We've seen school shootings, and we see it all the time. We see kids from schools posting these brawls on their Facebook pages, and some think it's cute. Others look at it with indifference, and so no one's addressing the problem. And if no one addressed the problem and thinks somebody's going to do it, then we're all in trouble. But now I like what our sister said too about technology. They say that China controls the algorithm of TikTok, and they don't allow their people in China to see the simplicity, the simplicities that we see here in the U.S. and other Western countries. And many of the people are inundated with these simple images. Like even yesterday, I was greeted with a some kind of ad showing this guy mowing down crowds of people with an automatic weapon. And he was moving from left to right, mowing down these crowd of people. And I was thinking to myself, now, why is this ad, on my page? But just think, the young people are looking at these different games. I don't know the names of them. I'm just aware of them. But when you're inundated with all this violence, the mind is a very peculiar thing. It's an awesome thing. It could be influenced. They can have you buy a pizza just by flashing a slice of Pizza Hut across your television screen. You see, because the mind is a very powerful thing, and if you inundated with the wrong stuff, man, you create a monster.
Yeah.
So yeah. I agree with Toya with a T.
Good deal. Good deal. Curtis, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Hey, what up, family? How y'all doing?
Hey, doing good. Doing good. Hey, good to have you back, brother. Definitely good to have you back, man. What do you think about the situation that happened in Virginia? Was it a case of bullying gone wrong, or what do you think it was? What did you see?
Me personally, man, I honestly and truly believe that was the situation of hazing, man. Gone wrong. That football atmosphere, folks get hazed, bro, and I think some people take that thing too far, and some people take it too far, bro, and they don't understand, like, when you hazing, you might be demoralizing everything about a dude, you know what I mean? So the first thing went through my mind right here was they was hazing dudes, man. And it just happened. Just to let you know, I don't know if you know this or no, but Columbia kept it real quiet. It just happened at it's either Ridgeview or Richland. I want to say it's Ridgeview, right? Ridgeview had a young boy. He got hazed. He got raped, Mo. And they really didn't deal with it appropriately. But me and my son, we had to have a long talk because, when he told me about it, I'm like, what? And he was like, yeah, Daddy, so like a whole lot of their players coming over to our school because the parents is pulling them out of the school and this, that, and the third. So as soon as I seen that thing right there, man, and I saw that dude actually went on that bus and killed, shot them 5 people, killing 3 of them. I in my mind, as a former coach, as a former player, the first thing I thought was, they done hazed him. Which is another form of bullying. Let's just keep it real.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. We're gonna stay right here just for a minute or two. We're gonna go into another topic in just a second. But Mary, good morning. How you doing?
Good morning. How are you?
I am doing well. Good to have you. Good to have you. I'm asking a question. What do you and Mr. Hicks, I'm coming to you next because I definitely want to hear. I know you got something on your heart. You was off the camera, but I wanted to wait till you came back.
Yes, sir.
But Mary, what you heard about the situation that happened in Virginia, with the bus situation, where the guy went on the University of Virginia, went on there and shot, killed 3 people, wounded total of wounded 2 more, and they say it was bullying. Mary, what is on your heart behind that? Where are we today where this bullying is taking such a turn?
I don't think it took a turn. I think we just started to talk about it. Like in, I don't care. I'm gonna say it. In the Navy, there's a lot of hazing. You can say what you want to say. You can call it what you want to call it. It's hazing. To cross when you cross the equator, the showback ceremony, I can't say what happened, but I can tell you that a lot of things happen that should not happen on some boats. When I did it, it wasn't that bad, but you could opt out of it, and I almost dropped out of it because they wanted to do something to my hair, and I was like, no. And they were like, well, either you do it or you get out. Okay, I'll get out. You're not about to mess with my hair. You don't wash my hair. I'm not Caucasian. This is not easy to wash.
That right, baby.
Like, you're not about to put everything in my hair. And they were putting glue and glitter in people's hair. You're not doing that to me. So I almost got out of it. They try to make you eat things. I don't eat certain types of meat, and they were like, well, you have to eat it. I don't eat ham. I'm not going to eat it just because you want me to eat it for a certificate, because I don't have to do this. So there's certain things that happen. I know a chief that isn't a chief because you get hazed. They make you wake up early, work out, do all this stuff, and it's already hard on your body. Being on the boat and being in the Navy and everything, and then they just take it that extra step. And if you don't do it, but you can be a chief, but if you don't do it, you're not called a chief. You're called whatever your rate is. So if you're IT, you're called ITC. You're not called chief, and your subordinates won't call you chief either. We call you ITC.
Wow.
Because you didn't go through a season. So since you didn't go through season, you're ITC and you won't be a chief until you do season. But if you don't do it as soon as you make it, you don't get the chance to do season unless something happened that you had to drop out of season. Then you can do it on the next run. But if you just opt out, you will never be a chief in your career.
Wow.
So there's a lot of hazing that goes on everywhere. There's hazing that goes on in friend groups. There's hazing that goes on a lot. It's just we don't call it that all the time. I think Navy calls it like tradition and customs now. It's something complete. It's downplayed, but it's a lot of stuff that go on that should not go on in the service, out of the service, just all the time. I just think now we're talking about it, and now we're actually calling it what it is. But if you say hazing in the Navy, you will get corrected as soon as you say it. Like if I go to wherever and I'm like, no, that's hazing, they'll be like, no, it's not. It's tradition and custom.
Wow.
We took away tacking of the pin because the tacking of the pin used to be you put the rank on and you hit it onto the chest so that you get the imprint of the two needles. We no longer do that because the Navy can't downplay that as custom and tradition because it's hazing and it's dangerous.
Wow.
So now we don't tack on the ranks anymore. We don't tack on the pins anymore. We just put them on you, and then you get a certificate, and you may get the plaque. I've never received a plaque for any of my ranks, but most people do receive a plaque.
Wow.
But it's a lot of things that go on that people say it's just a tradition, it's just a custom, it's just what we do, it's just our culture. But cultures can be changed if they're not good cultures. We don't have to do the same things. Like we don't have to join a sorority. It shouldn't be that difficult. I saw videos. They lined up guys and dropped the egg in one mouth and made them spit it into each other's mouth until it got the last person. I'm not doing
Lord,
that.
Jesus.
No. It's a lot of things that go on. It's a lot of things that go on that should not go on just so you can be in the in crowd and accepted, and it should not be a thing. I'd rather stay home by myself.
And Raheem just froze up on us, man. But go ahead, Hicks. You still heard on the stream, and I come after you.
What happened?
He froze up, but they can hear us. Go ahead.
Okay. Oh wow, it's a lot to unpack there. A whole lot. I want to speak to something back earlier, and in terms of my studies about religion and the history, is that the origins of words are so confusion, because they mean different things, but how to use in a sentence, how to use with the different emotion. But what I learned, just in terms of overcoming being bullied, found that bullies look for certain signs in people they're predators. Just like them lions and stuff out there, they look for a weakness. They look for something in the person that make them feel secure, that they can accomplish whatever they're trying to do, humiliate something or have something. And a big part of for me was building up my self-esteem, building up my belief in myself. And it came for me through studying boxing and martial arts. But that was just in the physical point. But in the intellectual and in the mental part of dealing with people, you got to put the same effort and strength in your mind. And I refuse to let doctors diagnose me and put a label on me and tell me that that's the way I'm going to be forever. I don't believe they have that kind of power in my life. I never gave it to them. You diagnose of this and diagnose of that, and you begin to lean on that. But you have within you, was great to put it inside you, the strength to build yourself, not to be a violent man, but be a man that believes in yourself and strong enough to weather the storm. And I read this book going back some years ago that really, really shaped a lot of my thinking with everything else I had. And this book was Ron Luis Miguel. He wrote this book, The Four Agreements. In those agreements, the first two he put out there was being impeccable with your word. That means tell the truth. It's a radical thing, but tell the truth about what's going on, how you feel. Just be able to be truthful, find the strength to tell people the truth about what's going on with you. And the second thing, the most important one, was not take personal. It's not an easy task, but when you begin to take something personal as attacking who you are, it's indicating that you're not sure who you are. So you need to get some strength there. And whether it's Native American culture, like I said before, I documented it, I'm in that line. And the biggest thing we had with dealing with the invaders was that they spoke with forked tongues. All their words had double meanings. All their words meant different than what they were saying. It's either legal talk now, even down to the politics. Legal talk, you get in court. That the words.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I guess I'm saying to Badger, just on that level, and it just who's in my spirit to say this to you. And I'm gonna call you later. I'll give you my number. You can call me. You think you are. You have more strength inside you than you think you have. All of us human beings. That's something that was deposited in us. Now we get traumatized childhood by society and feel like you can't say what you do. But when you get strong inside yourself, you say what you need to say. And then you dialogue the person to make them understand if you're not saying it correct. But you have to find the strength inside yourself to not walk on tippy toes around anyone in the world. You are a child of Creator. You're a son of God. He gave you things that no one can take from you. You only can give it. That's me, bro.
That's good. There you go. There you go, Rico.
Before I go ahead, is Captain Dennis still on? Because it's been a while since he spoke.
Let me see. Yes, he's there.
Go ahead and let him speak, and then I go after him because it's been a while since he spoke.
Okay, Cap, what's on your heart?
Oh man, I love the conversation. I think, brother, in your conversation with Badger, you kind of really try to understand where he was coming from. But I took Badger's words as sometimes you have a problem, I think, comprehending. You know, it's a little different when somebody talks to you. Can you comprehend what he's saying? And I think that's the word, be able to comprehend. And I think Badger gets frustrated when people don't understand that he sometimes do not comprehend what they're saying. And that not being able to comprehend has something to do with my brother's health or what may be a mental illness. I don't want to like to use the word mental illness, but he deals with that. And I think, Brother Badger, we all, we pretty much know you. We love you. God knows we love you. Anybody say anything negative, Badger, we got to fight everybody on here.
Mm-hmm.
You got so many people that would defend you. And Brother Badger pretty much is almost talk to everybody on the side. I mean, many times Badger called, we talking. And of course, when I talk to Badger off the air, I'm saying encouraging things to him. And I'm sure everybody else who talks to Badger off the air say encouraging things to him. So sometimes, Brother Badger, as you have a hard time comprehending, but I think you sometimes don't comprehend the love that everybody's giving you here. And I think, sometimes people, there's old saying, sometimes people every cries against them, and that's not the case. I love great conversation. I have mad respect on everybody, even Raheem. I mean, even Ibrahim.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's an elder, man. That's my brother. He's a Muslim. I mean, we're gonna throw down. I'm not gonna take it personally. Period. Have you ever heard when they say you set in your old ways?
Mm-hmm.
I think brother just set in his old ways. I mean, that's just the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
I respect anyone who's my elder, truthfully. And sometimes Captain D, as brothers say, go off the grid. But man, I got this mad respect. There ain't nothing y'all can do about that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't take nothing personally. I get a little mad like everybody else. But I ain't like Brother Hicks, take my ball and go home, Brother Hicks. That's not a slight, Hicks. That's not a slight, man. I'm not throwing no rock at you, my man. But anyway, we all feel that way sometimes, that we get frustrated when people misunderstand us.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the beauty, Raheem, that you give us. You give us this opportunity. I mean, I ain't seen Curtis since Lincoln died. Where you been, Curtis? Hey, good God Almighty! But I'm all glad to see you back in the groove again. But I love everybody, and Brother Raheem, if I said anything, honest to God, I got to always do this because, I mean, I love Paul. Paul, I know what you think, but I do, for real. But I want to say this, if anything that Brother Dennis said, truthfully, this is coming from my heart. You can take it or you let it alone. I don't mean to insult no one.
Mm-hmm.
And if I did, please forgive me. Charge it to my head, but not my heart. Thank you, Brother Raheem, for giving me this opportunity.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Rico.
Man, I almost told you to go to Donald because it's been a while since he talked, but I'm gonna throw him an alley-oop. He wrote a book that speaks about the fragility of the mind. And just like glass, they have it on the box. You have to handle with care. Because if you don't, you drop it, that glass gonna shatter. It's gonna break. And sometimes that's what happens to people. They break, and we wonder what happened. Some people say, I didn't see it coming. Then some people say, I saw it coming. I think I told you the story before about my friend I grew up with that killed his twin and his oldest brother.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a shock to everybody. But I saw things when we were 7 and 8 years old that led me to believing that he gonna do this one day.
Mm-hmm.
I saw things that was going on that was normal. And so your daughter came in and knocked it out the park, man. So now we got this thing called abuse. We got hazing. We got bullying. All of those things are first cousins.
Mm-hmm.
And what bullying does, it pressures you, put pressures on you, or it pressures you into doing something that you might not want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Influence, persuasion. So I heard some key words. I heard pressure. I heard society. Then I saw, Hicks and Paul said something about ourselves, building ourselves up. So then we have to understand, how do we identify bullying? Because in some cases, bullying is just what they call a way of life. It's a ritual for you to belong. Like she said, for you to be a chief or for you to belong to a Mason group.
Mm-hmm.
They always find a way for you to do something to demean yourself as a ritual to be a part of something. You got to do something that you don't feel like doing. And I'm just like your daughter, just like Toya. I dare somebody to initiate me with this foolishness. You ain't got to make me do nothing stupid to be a part of this. I'm good. You know you deserve to have. Y'all will be a blessing to have me to be a part of this. But you think you fixing to have me doing something to demean myself, to prove that I need to be a part of this group? No, you're not going to bully me. You're not fixing to pressure me. You're not fixing to break me
Mm-hmm.
into saying, yeah, y'all, he went ahead and did something strange for a little piece of change to fit in.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know, people, they got casting couches.
Yeah.
It goes on everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But see, sometimes we take these rituals and call it what they call a badge of honor.
Mm-hmm.
Or we'll call it building tough skin.
Mm.
That's just what we do in the hood. We play the dozens. We Jones. We crack your mama jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them mama jokes be personal. Ooh, boy, your mama so fine. I'll do this to her and I'll do that to her. Wop, 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 wop. Oh,
Yeah.
man, it was just jokes.
No, ain't no joke.
So it's like, how do you identify bullying? Sometimes what we call encouraging people and building people up is bullying.
Mm-hmm.
Building tough skin. Now, don't get me wrong. You got to teach your boys how to fight. You got to teach your girls how to protect themselves. You got to do that because for some reason we are in a society. You know, we got to build ourselves up, but it takes some encouraging and knowing, are you bullying people in the name of trying to encourage them? Because if you're trying to encourage them by bullying them, by making them degrade and demean themselves, then you creating confusion.
Yeah.
Because you can actually encourage somebody. To me, if you're encouraging somebody, you're going to do something righteous and good. You know what? If you want initiation into this group, go out and help a homeless family for a month straight.
Yeah. Yeah.
You want initiation into this group? We want you to lose 10 pounds by the end of the month.
Mm-hmm.
You could do some honorable things to be initiated into some groups or cliques or just to fit in. But psychologically, they manipulate you with MK Ultra, influencers. They tell you to do negative things, and then they reward these people for telling people to do negative things. And all of a sudden, you a troll like Charleston White, sitting back laughing at people, or you making music about smoking on people's mama and doing other sensational things, and it's still mental bullying and breaking the mind is truly fragile.
Mm-hmm.
Now imagine coming from a household where you don't even, like Toya say, we don't come pre-programmed. You don't come with this thick, you don't come born with thick skin and toughness and comprehension and learning how to break down how to defend yourself or how to understand. Somebody got to take quality time to teach you how to do these things in a righteous way.
Good. Now, Rico, you talking about losing 10 pounds in about 30 days, man. You talking about me not eating my Browns butter pecan ice cream at night, brother. We got a problem.
Oh, you can do that.
I like my Browns.
You can still eat the butter pecan. You just might have to do a little bit more exercise.
Oh, okay. Well,
you just have to encourage them.
Well, I'm just saying, man. You ain't gonna tell me not to eat my Browns butter pecan ice cream. Now you started to trip a little bit. Now you're tripping. Curtis, what's on your heart, brother?
Oh, I don't have too much, man. I'm just listening, saying where is it going? Is there anything specific you want me to?
No. We open conversation right now, but we actually got about 20 minutes. We're ready to get on out of here, so we haven't pretty much open conversation based on what we was talking about. Tucson, anything on your heart, brother? Still talking about bullying.
I thought about I don't know if anybody pledged on the line. I was in the military. Matter of fact, I thought about when Mary was talking. My son just made chief. A few times he said, "Man, I don't want to do this." When even in basic training, there's another level of what I'll just call influence, just to get in the military. Some don't make it. I remember when I was online in college, I told one of the big brothers, as soon as I get off this line, I'm gonna do you something real bad. Because he was little fella. Not no, I wasn't no bigger than him. But we was about the same size. And I told him, I said, as soon as I cross them burning sands, I'm gonna get you. And you have no doubt about it. Don't even doubt it. I'm gonna get you. Because it was it was a challenge. Let me just call it a challenge. Some people don't appreciate some level of challenge that society has to offer,
Mm-hmm.
and they break.
Yeah.
And it breaks them. I'm talking about it does them something beyond just their normal. So you have to watch yourself,
Mm-hmm.
because you can't take everybody and treat them. Sometimes you gotta back off people, because I remember, I don't know if the guy name was Zansky, when we was in basic training. This guy here, I remember his eyes rolling in the back of his head.
Mm.
And they told him, you can't have no nervous. He says, Drill Sergeant, I'm having a nervous breakdown. And he says, you can't have no breakdown here, soldier.
Mm.
And his eyes just rolling in the back of his head. I said, Lord have mercy.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? One soldier
Yeah.
decided that he couldn't take no more. And he took one of the weapons and he blowed the drill sergeant's head off.
Good Lord. Mm.
I'm just saying.
Breaking points, brother. Breaking points.
Yeah, breaking points.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Breaking points.
Better believe it.
Ibrahim, what's on your heart, brother?
Not a whole lot. I was just thinking about violence and bullying
Mm-hmm.
and how I went through it and how I dealt with it. I remember when I first started high school, I was a straight A student, and science, heavy in science,
Mm-hmm.
astrology, math. And when I got to high school, I was big. I was a big guy. I was 6 foot tall, 13 years old. I was 6 foot tall, 6'1". I weighed approximately 180 pounds. I had muscle, the whole 9 yards. I worked a lot. My dad was working a lot in the kitchen stuff. And the boys tried to come at me because I looked dumb and asked me for my money. So I'm not going to give you that. My dad told me not to. Oh, why did I say that? They came at me, and then I virtually massacred those boys.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I didn't say, my dad told me if I ever come home crying with my butt kicked, he's going to kick my butt, keep sending me back to get some more. And then I left my academic pursuits, and I got to like to fight. And I used to like to fight bullies. And, I don't get into a lot of that because I have a history of violence. And that carried on until I was an adult. Somebody attacked me or laughed at me. I blew a boy's head off. I thought I killed him, but I found out recently I didn't kill him. He lived and survived. So that's why I'm speaking on that now. Because he laughed at me about a situation I was having with my son's mother. And I was looking for him. He laughed at because he was doing my job. But what I'm trying to say is this, right? That I was tough, and also I was in the Black Family. We fought with the Ku Klux Klan down in South Georgia, down here in Georgia, and it's still like that in South Georgia. But I hear everybody talking like city folks, and not concerned about other people's position and what they have to go through every day. But what I'm saying to you is that because the way I was raised and trained, I met violence with violence. But one thing my dad did tell me, I don't look up at no man, I don't look down at no man. So I don't look down at anybody. I don't try to attack or assault people. I give them a lot of leeway if they feel like they're unprotected or they feel scared. I don't mess with a scared man. I go head on with a bully, but I don't mess with no scared man. I don't know what he might do. But also I know that there are certain standards where it's set up. And I did it for my children. You tell my children about welfare, they'll laugh at you. They're self-employed, independent, and just crazy so, even more than I thought they would be. But they learned from me that, freedom comes with self-ability and self-reliance, right? Now, my grandkids, are a different story,
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm trying to say is that somehow when society has certain demands of you, you have to stand up for that demand. You have to meet that demand. And our parents they told us to be cautious and careful, circle around the tree. A lot of us got crazy. We wouldn't try to go through the tree till we learned to get older, try to circumvent it. But that don't stop me from being who I am. I don't back down.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care who you are, who you think you are. I don't back down. If I believe what I'm saying is right and has some credence. And like on this show, certain people don't get me arguing. I don't argue with Leonard. I might disagree with him on some subjects. I argue with Leonard. I don't argue with Badger. Badger has a great understanding of what's going on. He don't understand why people think a certain way about him. He has a great understanding of what's going on. I don't argue with Brother Hicks. He went through the same things I went through in life. I understand what Hicks saying. I might not agree with everything Hicks saying, but I understand exactly what he's saying because he's speaking the same language I am, And certain people I don't argue with. But when you tell me something, when you say this is it, this is what I believe, this is what's happening, this is what's going on, then you get an argument for me.
Okay.
I have I would personally believe, but what I'm trying to say is that we have to have a thicker skin because this society, we have a misunderstanding of what respect is. We think respect is that you have to humble yourself and then lock yourself in a closet and speak not. We don't have the understanding that sometimes that we have to really search ourselves and search what we know and then prove it out to ourselves and then get out there and do it. You know what I mean? So it's certain people I don't argue because of what they do. I don't really argue with Captain B because he is doing something, even though I don't believe what he's doing. Some of the stuff he's doing is applicable or going to help our people out, but I believe because
we got to wrap it up
because that's what he sees.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. I heard you. I heard you, brother. Let me go to Toya with a T. Toya, what's on your heart?
Yeah, no. Hey, listen. That is true. You got to be resilient in this world, especially, I hate to have to do it, right? Being black. Oh, man, it is something a little extra about when you in this brown skin, baby. And you're right. You got to be resilient. You got to be able to take, when people don't, who cares? Who cares if don't nobody agree with you? They ain't got to. Who cares if nobody see it from your point of view? They ain't got to. It's not the point. Sometimes it's just not, going to be like that. But being resilient means you are secure with who you are. And no matter what the conditions are, you're going to bounce back. So that's even when bullying. But again, that is something that's taught. You don't just wake up like that, y'all. We take a lot of granted on when from zero, when we come out knowing nothing, zero, that everything we see, hear, and experience help build what we think we know. And no matter how much we do know, that still ain't nothing compared to all the knowledge that God has created. But whether you're being bullied, whether you being, being black is like being bullied all the time. So there's always something. They fooling with you for being in the neighborhood. They fooling with you for doing this. But white people do it. White people can walk down the street, and we know white people shoot up schools, but white people can still walk down the street with guns. Black people can't. Knowing we were enslaved, knowing the things we got through, you know what I'm saying? So again, when it comes to being bullied, when it comes to just, undergoing the challenges of your life, because the devil's going to use whatever he got to use. If he got to use color, if he got to use gender, if he got to use music, whatever he's going to do for you, he's going to do it. But you have to be resilient and you have to be able to know, the difference between right and wrong. And you have to be willing to want to make a change. Some things you have to endure, right? But I'm not going to endure. I'm with Mary. I'm not going to be some stuff I'm not going to do. I wasn't going to do the military because I wasn't going to willingly make an oath to some people I don't see, I don't know, and go when they say do something, I got to do it. I did ROTC, it was Cadet of the Month 2 times straight, and I was like, no, I won't do that. Because I am, again, willingly giving him an oath saying, yeah, I'm going to run around the block as much as you say. I'm going to wake up whatever time of morning screaming, with you screaming, yelling, acting all goofy. Yeah, if you tell me to go over there and shoot them because they is, I'm going to shoot them. That's what I'm saying. And that's what I do. And then we don't think about how things like that are built off of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. That little component right there controls everything that we're talking about. And when you add influence on it, that's how we have people willingly signing up to join the army who they know slaughtered their people in the name of freedom. Willingly.
Wow.
And they give them crumbs. They get them crumbs. You know what I'm saying? But again, we just have to, be strong. We have to know the truth. We got to be resilient, and we got to be willing to make change.
Badger?
Rico said a couple of things earlier that really got my brain going. Of how many people, like, I remember I was asked when I was younger because I was sensitive if I was something that I wasn't. You got to man up. You've got to do this or do that. And I never understood at the time that that's a type of bullying. But it's made me wonder how many people have grown up with this mindset of you have to be a certain way because of this, or this. And, we ask all the time, why is society where it's at now? And to be honest, in my personal view, it's because people have forgotten how to teach what emotions are, what responsibility is, how to have an open conversation with understanding on both sides and patience to make sure both people are on the same page to actually have a discussion, even if it's an agree to disagree. Because every time you turn around, I know people are saying, you don't have to walk on eggshells, you don't have to do this or do that. Yet you do. You have to in this society, unfortunately. And anyone that doesn't, they get attacked. People's feelings get hurt. Me and you've had that conversation too. I made a comment, Friday or Thursday last week, of comparing autism and being black. And that triggered people, right? Or at least that was the understanding I got from you. Was that triggers people.
Yeah.
And then, it's.
I think there was a larger part, you and Aaron's conversation, but I was just a part of it. But yeah, go ahead. I know what you're talking about, though.
Me and Aaron talked, and there is no another analogy that fit that situation. None. Nobody's come up with one since that would actually properly describe it. Yet it's triggering. So because of me being white skin, I'm never allowed to make a comment like that. So because it's triggering. Yeah.
Let's deal with the whole of the conversation. I also said I said to you that a lot of times on the broadcast here, if anybody say anything about Indian or indigenous people, you always had to find a way that you have to comment on what they said about Indian or indigenous people, because that's a trigger to you. If anybody on this broadcast ever say anything about Indian or indigenous people, Badger, you're going to find a way to comment on what they say, because that's
a lot of times it's not accurate.
Well, we're not talking about accuracy. We're talking about triggers.
That's what triggers me. If it's not accurate, it triggers me.
Okay, that's all. That's beside the point. All that's fine. That's good. But what you're misunderstanding, what I'm saying to you right now, is we're talking about triggers. And when you say something about trigger, you say that trigger certain individuals. Well, when somebody says something about whether it's factual or not, when somebody says something about Indian or indigenous people, that's a trigger to you, and you feel as though you have to comment on that. We can't stay on this too long, man.
No, I agree with you.
Okay, good deal. I appreciate that. We got 5 more minutes. Let me keep this thing going. Mr. Hicks, what's on your heart?
I guess just speaking right from what Badger said, what I'm feeling is when I started studying martial art and studying and found out how good I was, I didn't know I was good at it, and found out how good I was. I actually never had to put it in practice, but it made me have a confidence inside of myself that I felt that I was equipped to handle whatever come at me.
Yes, sir.
At least have a shot at it. There's a confidence that exudes from me. entering prison, a lot of, when I talk about the predator who looks for signs in people of weakness, right? It's usually verbal. So when I began to develop myself, it was like I learned I became an intensive reader and a writer, expressing my thoughts because a lot of times the right word at the right time. So when I speak of building yourself up, it's about finding the spiritual strength, spiritual with God, however you find it, some kind of power in you that you develop a faith and belief that power is now operating with you and through you because you're doing what you're supposed to do to have this power behind you. And it gives you a confident face in the world. You would think the person with the biggest muscles that talk the toughest and walk through the prison and walk back in, everybody would back off from them. But really, those are the people that the predators begin to focus on. It's an outward show of power. And about the things with words, with just in terms of words, when you get to the very root causes of the word, the biggest confusion in Christianity is all the different sects is interpretation of words that's been transliterated and been changed from the original format so many times. So you have people battling over the application of a word, but the word kills, but the spirit is life. So the word is aiming to somewhere that you got to get your way to see what that person's word is aiming for. And you got to look for the best of it. To get something out for yourself, because everybody you meet and talk with got something that the Creator gave them to give to you personally. If you're listening for it.
Exactly.
If you can find what it is you can agree on. But
now, what is your discipline, brother?
A discipline?
Yeah, you say most.
How was this? Well, I started Taekwondo. I started with Taekwondo from a guy, James Cheatham out of Newark. He was a Muslim. He back in the 60s. He had a license to fly plane. They assassinated him. But I was friends to the family, and he would always come over and instruct them. And because I was close to the family, I got free instruction. But as I moved through life, I never locked into forms because I got heavily into Bruce Lee and the Jet Kendo, interceding fist. Really not having a form. Because the karate is in the form, it works good, it looks good, but in combat and fight, it's flowing. It's like water. And if you're not in tune with that spiritual thing, that chi, because you're not about trying to hurt nobody. That's the power that lies in you, and just defending yourself.
See, and when you say that, brother, I would have if you would have asked me what, looking at you and talking to you and stuff like that, I would have seen you in Hapkido. I would have definitely seen you in Hapkido.
Oh, I studied Aikido. I studied all the arts.
Yeah, I would definitely saw you in Hapkido.
Every time.
Yes, sir.
Realigning force and strength and getting that power.
Intercept Hapkido, the form of intercepting power. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Form of intercepting power. Absolutely. Absolutely. But anyway, we're talking. You and I can talk about that all day later, brother. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let me go to Cap. What's on your heart? Cap, you there?
Well,
yes, sir.
Yes. Well, man, brother, hey, go ahead, my brother. Man, oof.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Brother, but one of the things that we all had to do, man, when I came up, remember now, I'm 68. I'm still a young man compared to my elders on here. But I joined the Nation of Islam. I was 18 years old in 1972. So all my life, I have been under the discipline of Islam. I have not been 100% practicing like I should, but Allah is the best knower. But one of the things we definitely had to do was learn the art. That was our thing, Master Musa. Everybody knows Musa. He was our champion in the arts, man. That brother, he changed the whole game of the arts. We study Sanuk now under brother Sensei Aziz, who was brother Anthony. You kind of developing your
skills. I like that. Why is art? Why it's a discipline. It most certainly.
Yes, sir.
It's not a discipline where you're the aggressor. No, it's not designed for you to be the aggressor. Most people that's in the arts are very, very mild people. You would never know that they have that kind of power because, you know, in the arts, you're taught to be very humble and not to be the aggressor. So you vary some, you know, so, you know, how you look at somebody, you say, yeah, I'm going to run a boarding. Well, you run a boarding, but you're going to live back.
Absolutely.
No question about that. You know, but I love the arts. But let me say this, I'm wrapping up. You know, thank you so much, Raheem. I tell you, man, I get off this show. I don't know, was you supposed to be on yesterday? Because I tried to get on yesterday. You took a day off. What happened?
Yeah, I had a little situation. I had to take her yesterday. Yeah, one of my babies needed me, man. So one of my babies needed me, so I had to be there.
Okay, well, you know, you got right, man. I had to get me a shot. I was shaking, you know. I need a little morning glow, man.
There you go.
You know, it's like morning glow, like trying to get your coffee, man. But you know, shoot, I didn't get my fix yesterday, but nevertheless, I enjoy myself. Everybody, thank you so much. Right here, I'm looking forward to Way Out Wednesday. Y'all, you know, tomorrow now, all the gloves coming off.
It's gonna be rough.
You know, a lot of stuff you want to get off your chest. Tomorrow's gonna be the day, man. You know.
Look here. I think our topic tomorrow should be let's just fight. Let's just fight. Go ahead.
No. You don't want to go down tomorrow, y'all. Don't get on. I'm just going to say, y'all going to get personal and you feel it's going to get hurt. Don't get on.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I love a good fight, man. Come on, man.
Let's just fight.
You know, ginger ale, you know. Yeah, man, I like that. No, that was a good punch back. No, that was below the belt. No, seriously. That was below the belt. You know, but that was good. That was good. You caught me when I wasn't looking at it. You know, you caught me when I wasn't looking. But I thank you so much, everybody. I love you. God bless everyone, and I'll see y'all tomorrow, God willing.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, Joseph.
Yeah.
What's on your heart, brother?
Oh man, I just enjoyed listening and learning and gaining more wisdom from the Morning Glow family.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good to appreciate you as well. Cassandra, wake up and go to sleep. Wake up and go to sleep. Mary, you there?
I'm here.
What's on your heart? Tomorrow we're gonna talk about let's just fight. So come ready to fight. Be ready to fight tomorrow. Let's just fight.
No.
Families fight sometimes, you know. So let's just fight. That's all it is. Mary, anything on your heart before we get out of here?
No, I'm just listening to y'all.
Oh, okay. You think you don't think we should do that? Let's just fight tomorrow, huh? We shouldn't do that, huh?
No, make love.
Oh, it will be interesting. The Raiders gonna go through the roof tomorrow. Toya with a T, talk to me, sis.
You know, also always a pleasure. Thank you for the opportunity, Raheem. I love all y'all and the insight and the feedback. And I'll see y'all tomorrow.
Hey, Toya, let's just fight now. You know what we're talking about tomorrow. Let's just fight. We might not talk about that tomorrow. We might not. It might be something totally different. Rico, talk to me, brother. What's on your heart?
We don't have to talk about that tomorrow. We'll wait till Friday.
There you go. There you go. Rico.
Yeah, man. I think it's big that, you know, even though we keep having these conversations about mass shootings, you know, we need to acknowledge that this is the nature of the environment we live in. Toya brought up, you know, I think what she said, Maslow.
Yes.
Man, that is true. You know, we live in an environment as a society where this is intentional. And it's intentional and necessary because the more confusion and aggression that you can keep up keeps certain people in that at the top of that hierarchy in charge. So what they've done, they've found a way as to make us have rituals to get us as a rite of passage by breaking the spirit.
Mm-hmm.
When people shoot up, do mass shootings and get on bus shooting people, their spirit is broken.
Mm-hmm.
That's psychological. That's in the mind, and it's intentional. So you have to find yourself when you're in a situation and you know these people are they're trying to make you do something that's going against your spirit. They're trying to get you to do an initiation or a ritual to get involved in something that just don't sit right with your spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got to have the encouragement from other people and your upbringing to be able to say, I'm going to be confident.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to let that happen, because once they break your spirit, then maybe you can belong. Maybe you can enjoy the access and exposure to these things that they have. But at the same time, you are also enabling an environment where this is acceptable. This type of behavior is acceptable. And once you cross a line, once you open up Pandora's box and indulge in these certain things to get into this organization or this clique or whatever, then you'll find it a lot easier to do something a lot more negative. And find it acceptable, especially when you have the authority to say, okay, now this is what I'm going to say you need to do to belong, to be a part of this group.
Exactly.
And it's to break the spirit is something negative. So, you know, yeah, man, this is something that you just can't build yourself up to overcome. You just can't have this within you. You know, when people say build yourself up, we got to do this ourselves. It ain't that easy.
Yeah.
Because from the very beginning, some people are brought up to be dominated, controlled. You know, we talk all the time about children that are being used as servants from the very beginning. The only thing they're made to do is to wait on their parents' hand and foot, but they ain't been taught how to have comprehension skill or how to conflict resolution. You know, they just know how to respond because they've been broken and they don't know how to respond in this society that's designed that way. So it's about that spirit. That's what I love about martial arts. You know, it teaches you, even though you got to have aggression when it's necessary, but to still have that spirit inside of you to not be broken and not conform to things that come against you, that's against nature.
And one of the things I loved about it, man, and this is something we all have to learn when we walk that path. Use only the amount of force necessary. Use only the amount of force that is necessary. You know, you ain't going there trying to just knock somebody's head off or something like that. It teaches you to use just the amount of force that you need to handle the situation. Mr. Hicks, let me ask you a question. Are you the artist, brother? I see the pictures in back of you. Did you draw those pictures?
Do I have? Let me get this. Can you read?
Yes. Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I did. Yeah, I've been dabbling in paint since I was a teenager.
Okay.
That you can see. Let me show you.
We done started something, Rico. We done started something. That looks.
I just want to show you what, if we can see that one.
That's the one I was looking at too.
See that
That's
fly
the one I was
that
looking at. Yes, sir.
Well,
that's the one I was looking at.
Well, I've been interested in UFOs since I was like 4 years old. Me and my grandfather saw something that stimulated that interest in me as a child.
Good deal. Good deal. Man, Curtis Hunger. I'll go to Curtis, man. I wanted to hear what he had to say before we get out of here. Curtis, if you got a minute, call back in, brother. I was just ready to come to you. Toussaint. Paul said, Paul put this on the chat. He said about a year. Now, hold on. I picked the wrong one up. Hold on, let me get it. Where is it at? Here you go. Toussaint said about a year ago, sometimes you just have to throw a knife in the circle. Throw a knife in the ring. Now, Toussaint, what kind of mess is that, man?
Toussaint over mature.
You see who really want to do harm. Some people just talk slow. Look, hey, let's do it tomorrow. Let's see.
No.
Okay. Look, listen, one ground rule. No cussing.
Yeah. Well, that eliminates Cassandra. Cassandra, you still with us?
Yes, I am.
Look, Toussaint said no cussing. So you know that might eliminate you from the conversation tomorrow.
No cuss.
That is not right. That is
That's not
right.
nice. I agree with you, Cassandra.
That might eliminate you because Cassandra, you will say that and before you know it, you don't. Hey, anything on your heart before we get out of here, Sandra?
No, I want to apologize because, you know, I tell you sometimes I have to take pain medication, and it knocked. I mean, I cannot keep awake, and so I know you probably called on me and I didn't answer.
About 10 times.
I just went right back out. Yeah, from this medication. Yeah.
Just don't do no cooking.
No, don't none.
No. Stop it, Reed. I mean, that is Rico. Stop that. Rico, I can really cook. For real.
I believe.
Exactly. But listen.
Somebody gonna call you because they're gonna try to buy some of your prescription.
Exactly.
Oh,
about 5 or 10 of them. You give me about 5 or 10 of them. I don't need a whole lot. Just 5 or 10 of them. But listen, we're about to get out of here, man. It's been a great broadcast. I do have a topic for tomorrow, though. That's gonna be real powerful, man. And I want all y'all to come on, and I want y'all to, you know, take this topic that we're gonna talk about tomorrow. Is real sensitive. It's gonna be serious. It's gonna be real serious. So, you know, make sure y'all come on early and let's get this thing done. Rico, what's going on at 3:00 today, sir?
If you missed today's show and would like to see or hear the rebroadcast in its entirety, you can tune in at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on www.dkmmediagroup.com.
Good deal. Good deal.
Are you gonna do your thing tonight?
Yeah. Real men being men tonight. Absolutely.
You might as well announce it.
Yes, sir. And if y'all got a minute or two, and you want to hear some great conversations from the brothers, we get together. The bros get together on every Tuesday from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on DKM Media Group and Associates. We will have Real Men Being Men from 8 to 10 tonight Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you tune in, log in, join in. Let's have this conversation. Let's have this dialogue. But right now, I got to tell y'all something. Willa, she actually sent me say she misplaced her phone. So she wasn't able to. She's actually trying to find her phone right now. I was hoping she was gonna say she left it in one of the stores that she went in, and so she's actually trying to find her phone right now. So she's not with us this morning. So we gotta figure out, you know, who gonna pray us out this morning. And I know who gonna pray us out this morning. I already know. I hope y'all are ready for this. So this is an old frustrated preacher, old frustrated Baptist preacher. Old frustrated Baptist preacher gonna preach us out today. Captain, you there?
Oh wow!
Go ahead.
Look, I say an old frustrated Baptist preacher. You know who I'm talking about? Huh?
Oh man, you know, man. I mean, how you gonna come behind Willa? I mean, Lord, how you gonna? I'm okay. I'm gonna do my best. So everybody,
yes, sir.
Heavenly Father, we thank you so much. We thank you for giving us this great opportunity that we was able to get up this morning and be able to have another chance to correct yesterday's mistakes. We thank you for giving us the opportunity that we can come together on this show, that we can be able to share the knowledge, the wisdom, and experience that you gave to each and every one of us. We thank you, God, for allowing us to be a family. And in all families, we fall out, but we fall back in. You say, Lord, with 2 or 3 gathered in your name, that you also are in the midst. We felt your presence. We felt your spirit. Let us be better human beings to each other. Let us learn, God. For you are the example of love. Let us learn to practice what we preach. Put your hands of healing and comfort and protection on everybody on this line. For we ask you this, Lord. We ask you this in the name of all of your righteous servants, from Abraham to Muhammad. Amen.
Man, amen. There you go. You did it, brother. You did it. You did it. Oh, look. Old frustrated Baptist preacher. Ain't that how you describe yourself, sir?
Well, that is true. I love to be honest with you. Y'all know I love to preach.
Yes, sir.
I'm just a perpetrator. I'm a perpetrating Muslim. who really wants to get back into the pulpit and preach the word of God. No, but thank you so much for that opportunity.
Absolutely.
And I thank God for putting that spirit on my heart to say those words. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Nicely said. Good words. Okay. Paul said he definitely enjoyed it as well. But like, we're going to get out of here now. It's been a great broadcast. I want to thank everybody for joining us. And more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DK and Media Group and Associates and the Morning Glow for being a part of your morning. It is now 10:16. We're about to exit the Morning Glow. But before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue for us, because we are certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody, and give them a hug, because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you could do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. And then we shine some of this light on you from the Morning Glow. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in, and let your light so shine. If you get an opportunity, give somebody some love. You just might find some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? Have a great day. Take care of each other, and please, please, please be blessed. See you tonight. God say the same. Real Men Being Men, 8:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here. Same bad place, same bad channel. Y'all old heads know what that's from. Have a great day.